everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan. Thank you for joining me. You could be anywhere in the whole wide world, which right here with me on ABL Live, and I appreciate you guys for that. Thank y'all for joining. I appreciate y'all. If you're just now coming into the stream or you catching it on the repeat, please hit the like button. That'll help me out tremendously. That'll let me know that I got people engaged, and it helps with the YouTube algorithm. So thank y'all for coming in. We got quite a few topics to discuss tonight. Congratulations to the United Kingdom for their conservative win. RIP Labour Party. Jeremy Corbyn quit, got triggered, threw a fit, but hey, it is what it is. He knows that Brexit is coming. You can't do anything to stop it, and I, for one, am 1,000% glad that it's actually going down. So shout out to the United Kingdom. It's hilarious seeing them out there protesting. He's not our prime minister. It's like, okay, the not my president thing didn't really work out too well. So now you want to say not my prime minister. It's kind of funny, but whatever. Also, Nancy Pelosi has finally admitted that the whole impeachment scam is a scam. Oh, I've been thinking about it prayerfully and dutifully. Meanwhile, it's been going on for 2.5 years, ever since the Bob Mueller investigation. That lets you know right there that the Mueller investigation was not about trying to find facts and evidence in the Russia case necessarily. It was basically an impeachment inquiry hearing. 2.5 years, $40 million, 500 subpoenas to get a big fat nothing burger and to do it all over again. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all for joining me tonight. I definitely appreciate you. If you're just now coming in, please like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And again, I thank y'all for being here. You could be anywhere in the whole wide world, which right here with me on ABL Live, and I definitely appreciate you for that. Now, getting back to Nancy Pelosi before we get into some other things, before we get into the calls a little bit later. The Russia situation had been going on for how long? Like I said, 2.5 years, $40 million, 500 subpoenas, and it yielded a big fat nothing burger, at least in the terms of trying to impeach Trump, which was the goal. I mean, these people didn't ruin men's lives, ruin reputations, then ruin relationships, all because they wanted to get one man out of office. They wanted to overturn the 2016 election, but it didn't work out too well for them. So since they were not able to get that impeachment inquiry off the ground into any kind of area where they wanted to be, now they want to do another impeachment inquiry, and they want to call it an impeachment inquiry. For a long time, for months, if not years, people have been saying, hey, Nancy Pelosi, look, if you want to impeach the president, if you want to do an inquiry, just call it what it is. Don't beat around the bush. Don't try to say, oh, we're trying to investigate Russia and this, that, and the third. Call it what it is. So she finally just took the bait, bit on it, and said, you know what? It's an impeachment inquiry. It had been going on for a very long time, though, which is what she said the other day. Said it on TV. These Democrats are hilarious. They'll say that the Republican Party, conservatives are corrupt, but they get on TV and tell you that they're corrupt. There's no evidence when it comes to any of us on our side being corrupt, but on their side, they'll say that they're corrupt openly. Joe Biden talking about, oh, Trump was dealing with the Ukrainians, this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, Joe Biden was on TV talking about he went to Ukraine many times as a special envoy to Ukraine appointed by Barack Obama. And he said, hey, fire this guy right now that's investigating my son who's getting paid between 50 and 80 grand from Burisma Holdings. Fire him right now. And if you don't fire him, you will not get this money from the United States. He said that on TV. Like in front of the whole world. You can Google it right now and watch it. President Trump says a thing on a private phone call that was really innocent. Hey, do us a favor. Look into what this man said on TV about being openly corrupt. How can you say that a person should look into a guy saying that he's corrupt on TV as it relates to a different country? You say, look into that. But you somehow are the wrong guy. It's like if I witness a bank robbery, right? I see it with my own two eyes. And I call the police and I say, hey, check it out for us. It's a bank robbery just happened. My neighborhood's messed up, whatever. The bank, I'm worried about the bank. Call the police and see what's going on. And then I get arrested. Why am I being arrested? I called the police on the bank robber. It's simple. So if you're the president of Ukraine, your job is to protect Ukraine. And I know a guy that has been extorting Ukraine. How about I call Ukraine and tell them that it's a guy extorting Ukraine? They might want to look into it. Is that somehow wrong? In the eyes of the Democratic Party, the answer is yes. But in the eyes of every regular American citizen, the answer is no, which is why this whole thing won't go anywhere. It's a political game. It is what it is. But we all know that from the very beginning. Nancy Pelosi just admitted it on TV. I've been saying this whole thing is a witch hunt. They're just trying to get him impeached. People on the left, the troll normies on Twitter talking about, no, ABL, this is a legitimate thing. The president's corrupt. But your leader, the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, goes on TV and says that I'm right. So if Nancy Pelosi says that I'm right, if Joe Biden goes on TV and says that I'm right in a different kind of way, then how am I wrong? It doesn't make any sense. But hey, the Democratic Party are the gift that keeps on giving. And I can't wait for them to give us the biggest Christmas gift, which is to get their impeachment request denied when it goes to the Senate. Because that's what's going to happen. There's no way the Senate is going to vote to remove the president. It's just not going to happen. You did not have one person that voted for the impeachment inquiry, and there's not been any new information that's been revealed since the impeachment inquiry has started. So if there's no new information and nobody voted for the impeachment inquiry because they thought that it wasn't enough there, how are you going to get 20 Republicans, which is what's needed in this particular case? How are you going to get 20 Republicans to join the Democrats in the Senate, or the majority of the Democrats in the Senate, to get supermajority votes, which is required to get the president removed? What's going to be funny is when a lot of Democrats, just regular everyday normies, they see that the president has not been removed after impeachment happens. You're going to see headlines, President Trump impeached. People are going to be in the streets like, hey, okay, why is he still in office? Why is he still doing Trump rallies talking about drain the swamp? What happened? Because they don't understand politics like that. It's pretty interesting, but hey, I can't wait. Also, shout out to UK, like I said from the beginning. Shout out to United Kingdom. I'm glad that the Conservatives won. Labour Party took that big L. They got like a trillion parties over there, but from what I see, it's Conservatives and Labour. And if I'm wrong, let me know in the chat, or also in the comments if you're watching it on the restream. But it's pretty much just Conservative and Labour took that big L. And Jeremy Corbyn quit as a leader. So is he still going to be in office? How does that really work? I'm not exactly 1,000% brushed up on British politics, but I know a little bit, but not everything to the point where I can bridge all the gaps together myself without asking for any outside help. But I'm glad that they were able to win. It was hilarious to see the lefties over there protesting. He's not my prime minister. It's like, okay, he's not my president is what is said over here. It is not really rolling off the tongue too well over there in the UK. But hey, they're trying. They're trying their best. But hey, every country I see has their own liberal people, except for like North Korea, where you might mess around and get caned to death in the public square for doing something like that. But I digress. The point is that you have liberal people over there that aren't too happy, but I suppose there are plenty of conservative people or people that just aren't totally with this, takeover of their country, by the European Union and by outside invaders. They didn't want that to happen. So shout out to the UK. I think you're going to see a repeat of that. One thing that people don't quite understand all the time is that Europe is much more liberal in general than the United States. Okay, conservatives over here are considered far right over there. From what I hear, if I'm wrong, again, let me know in the comments, especially like Western Europe. People like myself and yourself, if you are on the same page as me, we're considered far right over there. A liberal person might kind of be far left over here. A Boris Johnson might not necessarily even be like, people think they looks like Donald Trump and, they're the same. Not quite. But for England, for United Kingdom, he's great from what I've been able to see so far. Could be wrong, but, it could be what it is. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that clip from, I got to find that clip from them out there protesting, because that was hilarious. Not my prime minister. Matter of fact, here it is. Let me play this right quick. Hold on, let me see if I can pull my desktop up. There we go. You know, it could say something like Bojo must go, Bojo must go. They could do that, but they want to say, not my prime minister. It's kind of offbeat, but let's continue. Not my prime minister. Wait a minute. Hold on. My man's jacket right there. Did you see that? So I guess the Tories or conservatives over there. I'm not really sure of the exact term, but you see this sign right here. It says defy Tory rule. This sign says no to racism, no to Boris Johnson, who is the new prime minister. Yes, he is your prime minister. If you're not a citizen, you can go back to, boot-headed wherever you come from and have fun there in your theocracy. But different story. I digress. If you are a citizen of the UK, he is your prime minister. But there's a jacket right here. It says kill Tories. That's not very peaceful. That's not very tolerant. That's not very open arms of you, sir, ma'am, Zir, whatever you want to call yourself, with this interesting fluorescent hairstyle. Not my prime minister. Boris Johnson. Not my prime minister. Boris Johnson. Not my prime minister. Boris Johnson. I mean, are liberals the same all around the world? I mean, like, let's do a new chant. How about that? Like I said, Bojo must go. I made it up right now, just in my head. That was the easy one to come up with. But they're out there in the mix and couldn't come up with a better chant than that. I mean, that's not very good in my humble opinion. But it is what it is. Unleash the basement. The basement got flooded, and everybody just came on out there chanting, "Not my prime minister." Exactly. There you go. Hilarious. Okay, the Tories are conservative. I got you. I'm with it. Yeah, and the blocking the roads, man. You can't be blocking the roads. I mean, look, people got to go to work. People trying to make money. You got Christmas. People trying to get their gifts. They're trying to, move and shake, man. It's like, look, I got to do some overtime. I got to go clock in, clock out. You can't be getting in the way. And I like that one guy. I forget where it was, but it was in the States, but I forget what state. People were blocking the road. He gets out and just storms to the front, removes their flag and says, look, man, I got to go. We got to go to work. It's, no more of this. And you're going to see much more of that in the next coming days, weeks, months, years, etc. And I think that this is going to come to an end. All these people, not my prime minister, that's going to come to an end pretty soon once they realize that this is going to be just how things are. You can keep on resisting, this, that, and the third, but the silent majority, people that are not out there chanting and acting the fool, people that actually voted the right way, they voted for Brexit, they voted for Boris Johnson. These people are going to be the ones that lead the country. They're going to be the ones that dictate policy. So your chants and you're getting triggered and all this and that, your screeching will be all for naught when it's all said and done. But I digress. Let's get to the next topic here that I got written down. And that's about Virginia gun rights. Now, this whole thing is crazy. I've been kind of keeping an eye on this for a while, for some years. Really, I've been kind of looking at this for some years because it all started, it started quite a long time ago, but let's just start in 2015, 2016, when the current and also then current Attorney General Mark Herring rescinded reciprocity agreements with different states as far as guns are concerned. So reciprocity agreement as it relates to guns, that relates to your ability to have a concealed carry permit in Virginia and go to other states without having to get a concealed carry permit there. Your concealed carry permit in the Commonwealth of Virginia will be good in other states that have signed the reciprocity agreement, and vice versa. If I am from North Carolina and I bring my concealed carry permit and my weapon into Virginia, it'll be recognized because there's an agreement there. They recognize ours. We recognize theirs. It's all good. We have reciprocity. Mark Herring rescinded that back in 2016. I did a video on that, if you guys remember that, all the way back then. But it was overturned by the Republican-controlled government in Virginia. Now you have the same person who's Attorney General, Mark Herring, with the same guy that was at that time the lieutenant governor, who's now the governor, Ralph Northam. The blackface guy, him, He's a governor, and the other blackface guy, Mark Herring, is their attorney general, and he was back then. Then there's a new guy, Justin Fairfax, the alleged rapist. Anyway, I knew as soon as this regime continued, there would be an assault on the Second Amendment. I saw it coming. People are trying to say, "Oh, it's the just the illegal aliens." What's happening with Virginia is Washington, D.C. That's the problem. As D.C. expands, as D.C. adds more jobs, people move from other parts of the country to go into D.C. and work. It's just like New York, maybe even Atlanta to a lesser extent. These major city hubs, a lot of jobs people come to from other parts of the country to live. It's almost like Californians going to Dallas and Houston, San Antonio, or Austin, really. That's probably the better way to look at it. People from California going to Austin, Texas. It's too expensive in California. We go to Texas. Then they vote the same way. They act the same way they did in California, which is why you have homeless camps, people banging needles right now in Austin, Texas. That same thing is happening to D.C., but to a different extent. It's happening more in an economic. They're going for better jobs in D.C., and they're bringing their values with them. D.C. has like 33% of the state's total population. So they're controlling the whole thing. People like Mark Herring and Justin Fairfax and Ralph Northam and Terry McAuliffe and everybody else, they're part of the D.C. swamp, since the swamp is right there in Northern Virginia, extending through Washington, D.C., and then into parts of Southern Maryland. That's all one big circle. It's all one big swamp. So these laws are emanating from D.C. and spreading throughout Virginia. Now, these country boys and the city boys, too, in Virginia are not going to have any parts of it. No, sorry, Bob. I know guys out there, they train, they hunt, they fish. They're just not going to go for it, which is why you saw the City Hall in Chesapeake full to the max. People outside waiting, inside full. And I've been to that place many times. I've never seen it that full in my life. And I am from Virginia. I've never seen it that full before in my life. And the same thing with the courthouse in Nemo Parkway. The courthouse in Virginia Beach, that's where the mass shooting happened earlier this year. That did not get reported by the news a lot because the shooter was black. But I digress. The point is that people that live right there where the shooting happened are not going to have you take their guns away. They're just not going to have you do it. So it just ain't going to. And then in the rural areas, like go way out far west, like Big Stone Gap, go to Gay Lakes and go to like Central, like Crew and Emporia, Roanoke, Cave Spring, Blacksburg, Lynchburg. It just ain't going to happen. You're not taking their guns away. So McEachin, who is the rep that represented where I used to live at in Chesapeake, the 4th district, which by the way kind of got gerrymandered, but that's a different story for another day. Anyway, I seen McEachin around before. I know that name. People I know him. He's been around for a long time Democrat, does nothing. But anyway, he was talking to somebody saying, hey, well, if they don't want to comply with the laws that we put on the books, guess what? The governor could send the National Guard out there and take the guns by force. But didn't one Beto or Work tell me that anybody taking your guns, anybody going to come confiscate? I can't tell. I mean, why does National Guard need to get involved? If you just have gun laws on the books, I mean, the only kind of gun law that would not require the National Guard, in my eyes, would be a restriction upon the guns you can purchase in the store new. But if you say that I can't have certain guns in my possession that I already purchased legally, that'll be when you call in the National Guard. That's called gun confiscation. That's not going to happen. Not at all. There's plenty of gun sanctuaries, not illegal alien sanctuaries, but gun sanctuary cities in Virginia and all over the United States as well, but definitely in Virginia. It's not going down. So people said that, oh, could it be a civil war? I doubt it. But if they try something like that, you might see something that resembles it. And I don't want that to happen. I'm not threatening anybody, but you just don't want people to try to infringe upon Americans' rights. In the Constitution, it says, Second Amendment shall not be infringed. The purpose of the Second Amendment is to protect ourselves against a tyrannical government. Now, what kind of government would it be if they were to violate your express rights in the Second Amendment by taking your guns away. That's tyrannical to me. So that's the whole point of having weapons, is to protect yourself. That's it. Don't aggress upon me. Everything will be fine. If you do, it might get a little weird. And that's kind of how that goes. So I say, leave Virginians alone. Leave my brothers and sisters alone. Just don't do it. If you do, I think them trying to impose some kind of crazy gun laws would have a negative effect rather than a positive effect. It's really simple. So it is what it is. And that's all I can really say about that one right there. So McKeechin, like I said in the video earlier, he needs to apologize. He needs to apologize and be like, I'm sorry, to my constituents. I'm not going to do this. We're not going to go through with this. I was just talking to a reporter. I got kind of caught off guard. Is that in the third? He should do that, because if he doesn't, he's going to be he's going to see a lot of his residents buck against this. And, some people would say, it's because it's a high black district. Yes, it is a high black district, like Chesapeake, Portsmouth, Petersburg, Richmond. Yes. I think the district is like 41% black. Yeah, but a lot of us got guns. I done seen guys in the hood with cowboy holsters on. I'm talking about something you would see like a Chuck Norris. I'm talking like the big country holsters, leather, with the gun outside open carrying, walking around. Like, that's normal to see that, because you can open carry in Virginia, and most of Virginia you can open carry with no license. You can have a pistol on your waist like it's nothing. I see that all the time in Virginia from all walks of life. Guys open carrying, concealed carrying, everything. So if you try to enforce that, it's just going to be a big mess. Focus your energy on the areas where the crime is at. Norfolk, Virginia Beach, parts of Portsmouth, northern Chesapeake, Richmond, parts of Petersburg, some parts of northern Virginia a little bit, but mostly Richmond, Norfolk, Virginia Beach. That's where the crime is at. To a lesser extent, Roanoke, but really, Norfolk, Richmond. Focus on that. That's where the crime is. And these guys are not getting their guns from Bob's gun store. These guys are getting their guns from the street. People talking about, you can just buy legal guns on the street. That's not really how that works. You got guys stealing guns. You got guns being imported from other countries. You got all kind of things that are happening. They try to blame the violence in Mexico on us. The gun violence, they try to say that the guns come across the border into Mexico, and that's the reason why they have guns. Now, there are some guns, a lot of guns that go across the border from the U.S. Mexico, but that ain't the only place where they get guns from. It was a guy with a mounted 50 cal in a truck. He had a box truck with a 50 cal on it. Like, where you gonna get that from? How you gonna get a 50 cal from Bob's gun store? What American can just go to the store and get that? It's like, Glock 45, AR-15. 50 caliber mounted. I want that right now. Loaded into my Toyota Scion. Like, come on, man. That made no sense. But yeah, thank y'all for being here. I definitely appreciate you. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, please share the video. That'll do me a great service as well. And I appreciate you guys for being here tonight. You could be anywhere in the whole wide world, which right here with me, and I definitely appreciate you for that. It's been quite a few things happening all on these internet streets and the political streets. A whole lot going on. What else has been happening? I feel like there was one time I want to talk about. Hold on, let me see. I think I missed one thing that I wanted to address. Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders decided to unendorse Cenk from Young Turks. Cenk Uygur, whatever his name is, decided to unendorse him. Now, this is funny because Bernie Sanders is also endorsed by and campaigns with Linda Sarsour, the terrorist type lady, the terrorist empathizer, Linda Sarsour. Yeah, her. He campaigns with her all over the country. So that's interesting how you have her and you don't cut ties with her, but you cut Cenk Uygur, who is a bad man, but nowhere near as bad as Linda Sarsour. I mean, the guy just has, he's just a nut in general, not, a dangerous individual in the same way Linda Sarsour is, but I digress. First, he endorses Cenk on Twitter, and like the next day, not even a full 24 later, he unendorses him after Cenk said that I will not accept any endorsements from anybody except for my constituents in California 25, in the 25th district that he's trying to run for, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But he only said that after a bunch of clips of him came out talking about bestiality being okay if you are a member of the proletariat or something, and some quote unquote sexist comments. Now, a lot of what he said was kind of harmless to me. The sexist comments, it's just like, dude bro type stuff. It ain't really nothing. That's just what they would call locker room talk. But bestiality, I can rock with you on that one, man. I can't defend you on that. It's like, and the Democratic Party in California or LA County, they said, hey, Bernie, denounce this man right now, unendorse him right now if you believe in what you believe in. If you believe in your values, if you believe in a democracy, unendorse this man right now. So the Democratic Party, they're coming against him. He has not a whole lot of support on the right, obviously. We're not going to support him. So he's pretty much just out there floating. And the funny part about this whole situation is that he's running to fill Katie Hill's district. Remember Katie Hill? This was a young lady that got caught butt naked, sitting on the hotel chair, combing her staffer's hair. That Katie Hill, she quit talking about, oh, this is sexist. I'm being discriminated against. It's like, well, if you didn't strip down to your birthday suit and sit on a hotel chair with nothing else on and comb your staffer's hair with your little, your Dutch bunnies in between her head, then you would still be there in office, but you decided to do something different. So it is what it is. And quite frankly, she got off kind of light. What if that were a male congressman that did something like that, that was in his birthday suit with a staffer's head in between his legs, combing her hair? Oh, man, rapists, all kind of stuff. So she got off light, really. If there's any sexism going on, it worked in their favor because she did not get charged with a crime. You got guys, putting girls on the casting couch, getting locked up, but Katie Hill combing hair, just go ahead and resign. It's okay. It's no big deal. So it is what it is. Yeah, Katie Hill was just a total, just a slob, really. And I think that she should have just kept quiet after this whole situation, because it's like, how can you really defend yourself after this? What can you really say? Like, what are you going to be able to say in your defense? You'd be like, oh, no, I didn't know what I was doing. It's like, yes, you did, because there's several there's pictures, videos, all that of her doing what she was doing. So it's just kind of strange that she would even come out and say anything to her defense. Just take that loss and keep it moving. That's just pretty much how that goes. So shout out to Katie Hill and shout out to Cenk Uygur for one person quitting the 25th district in California, and for Cenk Uygur running for the district, getting a big endorsement from Bernie Sanders and then getting unendorsed the very next day. I guarantee you Bernie's staff called him after those clips came out talking about pedophilia, pardon me, bestiality, that's right. I guarantee you they called him and was like, look, man, we got to clean this up. Bernie cannot endorse you anymore, so we got to do something to fix this. This is not a cool thing to have happen here on our watch. And he was like, okay, I'll just say that I won't accept any endorsements, and then you can say that you retract your endorsement because I didn't want any. Just trying to damage control, basically, at the end of the day. That's what that is. But hey, it is what it is. Shout out to all of them for going through what they're going through. But thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate you guys. Is Cenk from Syria? I thought Cenk was Turkish. I know his nephew Hassan. He's from Turkey, but lived here in the States for a long time. Yeah. All right, hold on. I'm just reading some of the comments here. Chunky yogurt. Shout out to all you guys in the building. Katie Hill in that NX IVM, whatever that is, that weird cult in New York? Is she part of that? If she was, then I wouldn't be surprised. Is or was, I wouldn't be surprised at all. She kind of would fit the type of person that they would want over there, so that's not surprising at all. He's got Turkish roots. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, and also the biggest thing that they probably miss, like, okay, if you endorse somebody as presidential candidate, you got to look into their background a little bit and be like, should I endorse them? But the biggest and most obvious thing they missed was the name of his organization, the Young Turks. Now, I know we have some history buffs in the building. What did the actual group Young Turks do? I'll give you guys a moment to ponder that one. Okay, moment's over. They did the Armenian genocide, which is hilarious because Anna, the female co-host, been there for a long time. She's Armenian. So it's like, how are you going to be an Armenian joining the group called the Young Turks where your boss is Turkish? It's like, isn't that kind of strange? I wonder how she gets, like, when she goes home to Armenia or talks to her Armenian family members, how does that conversation go? Who you work for? The Young Turks. Oh, the guys that killed half of your family? Them? Oh, and it's not the same guys, but they got the same name. Why would they name themselves that? It doesn't make any sense. Surely it could have been something else. I mean, you have a news organization. Must it be called the Young Turks? I don't really know. I don't really understand the whole point, but that's going to be brought up right there. If Bernie Sanders is attaching his name to Chink from the Young Turks, I mean, that's terrible. People already say that he's a communist and all this and that. So what you want to do after being accused of being a communist is attach your name to a group that committed genocide on the Armenians. I mean, you might as well just say that you're a Nazi at the end of the day. It's like you're right on the same path to becoming that which you say Trump and Trump supporters are. It's funny how that works, but it is what it is. No, Anna Kasparian is Armenian. She came out and said that because somebody asked her that at one of these events, and they asked her the question straight up. It was like, okay, the Young Turks did the Armenian genocide. You're Armenian, so how are you here? She got triggered. Yes, I'm Armenian, and I'm proud. A Young Turks name, who cares? It was a mess. So yes, she is Armenian. Duke says Uyghur was born in Istanbul, Turkey, and immigrated with his family when he was 8 years old. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. People are saying Trump isn't doing any debates in 2020. Is that true? It could be, but I've not heard that from anybody. But it's possible. But I don't think that's true. I want to see him do a debate. Like, I want to see him get on stage with Joe. I want Joe Biden to be the nominee. Please let it be Joe. That's who I want. The poll numbers are saying he has the best chance. I don't know how the poll numbers are saying that because this man is one campaign stop from just falling over and getting sent to the home because he's not there. Mentally, he's just, as you age at a certain point, Father Time is undefeated. And Joe Biden is not winning that battle right now. He's getting beat down by Father Time. He is not as sharp as he used to be. The guy in Iowa that confronted him and said, hey, you're almost as old as I am. You're too old. I know that as you get older, your mental faculties just start to leave you. It's simple. Listen to Joe Biden speak right now and listen to him 30 years ago, not even 10 years ago. You see a drastic change. People talking about, oh, he's always been the gaff machine. He's always been the gaffer. It's not about gaffes. It's about him just not having his mental capacity there. It's diminished from what it used to be. It's very simple. It ain't nothing else to it. Having said all that, I want to see him get on stage. If you want to be the presidential candidate, okay, then get into the ring. It'd be like Mike Tyson and Donald Trump beating up just a random tomato can off the street. Just put some random Joe picking up garbage in Times Square in the ring with Mike Tyson in 1988, and then watch that dude get demolished. It'd be sad to look at. But if you want to do it, okay. If you give him all opportunities to drop out and to not do it and to say, oh, I'm rescinding myself, Barack Obama tried to tell him, hey, don't do it. Don't get into the race. Don't embarrass yourself. People are trying to tell him, don't do it. Barack Obama sent him a message. He sent Deval Patrick into the race, in my humble opinion, for the express purpose of telling Joe Biden indirectly to drop out. But he's not doing it. So you have chances to drop out, sir. You're not taking them. So now you got to get beat down in the ring politically, not physically, but in the ring politically. Hey, shout out to the old people. But at a certain point, if you are not able to conduct yourself as you were before and you want to be the president, you can be in an advisory role, something else other than the president. If you're going to have your finger on the button, I want you to be 100% mentally alert and able to do it, not having brain fog and mood swings. Anybody got no time for that, period. It is what it is. Blacks don't want Buttigieg, Buttigieg, whatever his name is. We don't want him. It's funny when I think it was CNN, they put out a report talking about, we don't know why Buttigieg is pulling so long among Black Americans. It's like, look, Black Americans, it's funny. Most of us are politically liberal, but socially conservative. We're not really into the LGBT thing. Yes, there are plenty of Black members that are LGBT, but, you know, people's grandmas and stuff like that are not really into it. You know, I have family members that are kind of up there in age, 80, 90, 70, you know, senior citizens. They're not for this LGBT stuff. They're just not for it. Simple. So when you have this dude running around with his husband, it's like, nah, I'm cool. And beyond that, most Black folks want the Obama legacy to continue. So they'll put Joe in there, even though he is like one campaign stop away from just being totally done. One bad interaction with a fan, he's like right there on the edge, getting ready to fall off the cliff. He's right there, but a lot of Black folks don't really care about that because they know him from the Obama administration. That's kind of how that goes. So it is what it is. So yeah, they're not really feeling Buttigieg too tough. And it's funny seeing the left kind of be confused about this. They're thinking that since Buttigieg is gay, that means he's a minority, and that means that we're the same. We're not the same. I mean, I don't know where they get that notion from, that we're the same. No, we're not. I don't know this guy, Buttigieg. I mean, just because he's gay does not mean that I have anything in common with him. I mean, the truth is a lot of Black folks differentiate when it comes to how to look at the world. A lot of us vote locks up for the Democratic Party. That's going to change eventually. But as of right now, out of those of us that vote, most of us vote locks up for the Democratic Party. But even within that, there's different little groups. You got your hoteps, you got your super Christians, your atheists, you got your people that are into just other esoteric stuff, gamers, your blue collar people. There's variations there. So even among Black people, you don't have agreements. You got the conservatives, the liberals, Uncle Tom, Coon, sellout, all these little pejoratives. So how are you going to have division among one race and then expect them to have unification with a whole different race and sexual persuasion? It doesn't make any sense, but that's how the media thinks. They think, okay, let's put any colored person out there, and everybody that's not white, you know, colored people, they're going to like them. Some may get offended when I say colored people, colored persons, but the media say it every day. It just changed it up a little bit. They say person of color. It's the same phrase. It's the exact same phrase, just switched around a little bit so you don't catch it. Colored people, colored person, people of color. That's different, right? You put it backwards and threw an of in the middle. So rather than colored people, you have people of color, of in the middle. You fancy. That's how that goes. It is what it is. So no, we're not the same. I don't know just because you're gay, what you do or how you. I just don't know. I don't know you. And he's young too. He's a little bit too young. He's old enough to be the president legally, but it just kind of you go from like elderly statesman to this young guy. looking like a Starbucks barista. Nothing against Starbucks baristas, but I don't go into Starbucks and think, hey, that guy right there behind the counter with the, you know what I mean, the blue tint in his hair, I want him to be the president. I don't think that. You know, the Democrats think differently, though. They put AOC out there to be this big popular figure in the Democratic Party straight from being a bartender. So they think differently than those of us on the right that have a brain in their head. But again, I digress. I am not a Democrat. No. I am conservative 1,000%. Absolutely. 100%. I might get triggered if you accuse me of being conservative. No, I'm playing. But no, I am 100% conservative. Okay. Thank you to everybody that super chatted. I appreciate you guys. I'm reading these off right quick, and then we get to the calls a little bit later. Shout out to Smelly Elvis, who said, Smelly Elvis, Greta Thunberg named Times 2019 Ventriloquist Dummy of the Year. Elvis wonders if Man Bear Pig Al Gore is operating her mouth. Thank you for the donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. Yeah, Greta Thunberg. No, the Time Person of the Year is always kind of weird because they change things just randomly. Because Donald Trump won it. It might have been, 2016, 2017? He won it that year. And you had Slick Willie to win it. Adolf Hitler won it. Stalin won it twice back in the 40s. I think Rosa Parks was on the cover. I'm not quite sure she's a Time Person of the Year, but she was on the cover. You've had good people win, bad people win, and then just weird things like one year recently, the Time Person of the Year was you. Like, you watching this, it said, why are you, period, with a gray background on the front cover of the red magazine, Time magazine. So they always do weird things like this. I think really it's about getting attention, getting clicks to their dying format because it's like Christmas to them. A lot of these retailers are in the black at best, but probably really in the red, and they don't get to the green until Christmas time. That might be the same thing going on here with, these weird covers from Time magazine and some of these shock headlines from New York Times. They're trying to get clicks to their website because that's how they actually make their money, off of the weird, sensational things. If there's a big event that comes around, like the Time Person of the Year, they want to cash in on that with the most eyes on the magazine possible. Therefore, they put Greta Thunberg on the front, who doesn't really deserve it, but deserve is a subjective term. It's about what makes the most sense financially to put on the front cover. Simple as that. People will buy it just to have a collector's item. I think she's the future and stuff like that, but it's not even really the case. Lizzo, Entertainer of the Year. Lizzo was a nut. What makes Lizzo think she was able to go to the Staples Center with her butt out and twerk on camera? Talking about just because I'm big, that's the only reason why it's a problem. No, it's because you can't do stuff like that. Nobody goes to the LA Lakers game with their butt out. This ain't a strip club. This ain't VMAs. This ain't some kind of weird place. This is a family event. I've been to pro basketball games. People are like throwing around T-shirts and stuff in halftime. Cheerleaders are dancing. It's a fun environment. You're not going to go there with your butt out. That's not how human beings do at a Staples Center. And then on top of that, you're looking like Rikishi. It just makes it unappealing. So you're going to get people that are looking at you and disgusted physically, and also those that are just like, what are you doing? You have no decorum, no class, no tact, no couth. It's just not right. So Lizzo, she got to get out of here ASAP. If I could leave one thing behind in the 2010, 2019 decade, it'd be Lizzo. But I digress. Super chats, I'm going to get back to those. Thank you to Sean Balin, who says, I think we need to replace the Democratic Party with a bona fide conservative party straight from the UK. Hey, that might be a good thing. Thank you for that donation and your suggestion. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you to first name, last name, who says Elise Stefanik 2024. Hey, that might be a good idea. She might be able to be Donald Trump Jr.'s running mate. How about that? Now, really, what I want to see is Trump Jr. and Kim Guilfoyle run as president and vice president, and I want to see them. I want to see them get married and then run as president and VP. First time ever, Hispanic vice president. Then you got the president, the son, carrying on the torch for his dad. That'd be beautiful. That's what I want to see. But hey, she's also a great candidate, Elise Stefanik. Thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Ellie Bell, who says, Democrat of New York just said he is flipping to Republican. Hey, it's happening. I can't wait to see it. I think this whole thing with the impeachment has forced some people to take a side. You're going to be over here or over there? Where are you going to be? It's kind of a turning point, a tipping point. People are just, aligning with their affiliation. Am I going to be here? Am I going to be there? Where am I going to be? Very good observation. Thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Frank G, who said, speaking of the name of the Young Turks, the history of the original Antifa is very interesting as well. Hey, I've heard that it is. I might need to look into that a little bit more. Thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to First Fire 508, Brightion, who says, Soros money runs Young Turks. Yes, it does. I heard about that. Also, Qatar, that island nation off of the coast of, Saudi Arabia. What's that, in the Red Sea? Very interesting as well. But thank you for your donation. Shout out to Jay Evans, who says she's fake, just like her nose. We're talking about AOC. Thank you for your donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Jay Evans again, who says, take my guns. I have 5,000 reasons why that's a bad idea. Or to anyone that wants to hurt my family. Hey, I'm right there with you, man. We're all about trying to protect our families, ourselves, our country. And that's why we have those rights. Second Amendment, that's the whole point. And thank you for your donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Jay Swift, who says, ABL, did you see that we built the wall is now building an additional 3.5 mile border wall next to the Rio Grande? They rely on donations, no taxpayer money, scheduled to finish on January 15th. Now, ain't that beautiful? Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. But it's beautiful because we see that the government is not required all the time to get things done. People talking about taxes, my roads. We're building things that the government would normally build off of private donations. This is a privately funded wall, and we're making an impact on the border as far as crime is concerned. So we can work in tandem with the government to get things done, but we need not rely upon them, which is why we can keep more of our own money and spend it where we want to spend it, rather than being taxed to 80-90%, having the money go into a black hole and not get spent on the border wall. How about I keep my money and I give it to the border wall if I want to get what I want to get accomplished directly, rather than relying upon the government to get what I want to get accomplished indirectly, and then have them not do it and spending on people like Katie Hill going to Alaska with her intern, brushing their hair but naked. But thank you for the donation. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Mike from Queens, who says, Liz, pay attention to the UK elections. That's going to be the US of 2020. I'm right there with you. That was a preview of 2020. So liberals out there, if you don't like the president, if Orange Man's bad, get your protest signs ready right now. Get your chants ready. Get your protest signs ready, because it's going to be a party out there when he wins yet again. Get your chant. Not my president. You already used that. Come up with something else. But thank you for your donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Bucolic Buffalo, who says, ABL with some impersonations tonight. Good stuff. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Shelter Lives, who says, love you and your content, ABL, but I digress. Thank you for that. I definitely appreciate you for your donation. Shout out to Bucolic Buffalo, who says, ABL makes working Saturday night all right. Hey, I'm glad I'm here for you, man. And thank you for your donation. Without you, it couldn't be no me. So I appreciate you for that. Thank you to Ed Hoffman, who says, thank you, ABL, for your efforts. Hey, no problem. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to my man Joshua Perez, who says Democrats will be the Labor Party in 2020. Yes, they will. And it's going to be a fantastic sight. I can't wait. And I think the House may kind of go away too. The House may go away for the Democrats. Who may take the House, retain the Senate, and the White House. And we're going to have some Supreme Court justices that get on the bench, possibly. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. The time is ticking. I don't wish any kind of harm to Miss Ginsburg, but for the time, the clock's ticking. I'm just being honest. So it's only a matter of time before she decides to leave us or retire. Stephen Breyer, same thing. So you may have Trump appoint maybe as many as 5 Supreme Court justices. This is going to last far beyond the next president. People are saying, oh, what about 2024? That's a valid complaint, a concern, but the Supreme Court's going to be intact. So these cases, Roe v. Wade, etc., I mean, it's going to be Donald Trump's lasting legacy, unlike Barack Obama, who has not left a positive, lasting legacy. So that's that. Again, thank you for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. You guys have been fantastic. And shout out to all the super chatters already. You guys are great. Shout out to Frank G, who says, hold on, I could not find any precedent of obstruction of Congress. Is that just some charge Democrats made up? Does it seem legit? Thank you for your donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. I presume they made it up. They wanted to get him on obstruction of justice, but they couldn't find anything to get him on obstruction of justice or bribery, which would have directly made the qualifications for grounds to impeach the president. They couldn't find anything on that, so they got him on abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. It's kind of weird. But I've not heard of that before. I believe they made it up. That's why I think they, I don't think it's a real crime. If you were to go to court with that, how would you get sentenced? Like obstructing Congress? Like, couldn't that be a person outside with a picket sign obstructing Congress? I'm not really sure. Shout out to P. Hubernett, who says, ABL, I appreciate all you do. Merry Christmas, my friend. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Merry Christmas to you as well. And you guys have been great so far. This right here is like my Christmas gift. So Merry Christmas to all. I appreciate y'all for being here. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. I definitely appreciate it. And shout out to Tina, who says, I watch you daily. Thank you, ABL. Well, thank you for your donation and your daily support. I definitely appreciate you 1,000%. Who's spamming in the chat? If somebody's spamming, they're going to get removed. Okay. I think it might have been a mistake. So yeah, if I see that again, then you're gonna get blocked ASAP. No spamming in the chat. Okay, it was a mistake. Okay, it's all good, boss. Don't even worry about it. Just tighten up a little bit. Ellie Bell says, obstruction of Congress just means that he refused to obey the subpoena. That's it. So my question would be, can you get locked up for refusing to obey a subpoena? If you can't get locked up for it, then you can't get impeached for it. So it's a nothing burger. Give me a nothing burger, medium well. No ketchup, no mustard, no mayonnaise, no nothing. Just no hot dog bun, no hamburger bun. Put it on the plate and don't put nothing on it. Nothing burger. Alrighty. So let's get to the calls. You guys have been great tonight, and I really appreciate you for that. And hold on. Let me just go ahead and get my Skype ready so that is operating properly. Mike from Queens says, the UK election surprised everyone because mainstream media lied for the last year about Brexit being dead. Yeah, I mean, at this point, the mainstream media have no more credibility. No credibility at all. I mean, they were talking about the 2016 election. Trump has no chance. If you were to say Donald Trump was going to win, you would get laughed at. Shout out to my friend Ann Coulter, who I met one time. Since I met her one time, she's my friend in my head. But anyway, she was talking about Donald Trump winning in 2016 or 2015 on the Bill Maher show. They laughed at her. Ha, 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 ha. That never happened. And here we are. 3 years later, he's still here. Nobody else is. So laugh all you want to, leftists on in the media, on Twitter, out there in the street. But Brexit is going forward. Labor's been defeated. Jeremy Corbyn quit. So what are you going to do about it? Thank you, Christopher Ross, for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. You said thanks, ABL. Well, thank you for your support. I most certainly appreciate it. But yeah, they were really going for this whole thing about Trump won't be the president. Trump has no chance. I can't tell. He had a pretty good chance from what I saw. Yeah, that's pretty much what that is. Let me see. All right, I'm reading some of the chat here. Then I'm going to get to the calls. All right, let's get to the calls. Like I said, The number to call is 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. The phone lines will be open in just a moment. Let me just get my Skype together, and then we go ahead and get rocking and rolling. And again, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. That'll help me out tremendously. We got 745 in the building. I thank all y'all for being here. It means so much to me to have even one person watch and listen to what I'm saying, but 745 is overwhelming. So thank y'all. All right, let's get to the first call. And it's blowing up. Okay, caller, who do we have here?
It's your friend here, or should I say a friend that you've sort of slandered many times, Mr. Don Lemon of CNN. CNN, the most trusted name in news.
Don Lemon, your voice is kind of deep there, man. Are you kind of little raspy throat? Are you sick? What's going on, man?
No, I am fine, except you know, I can't believe it. I can't believe you and your trolls and your fake Brian Stelters, and you'll be hearing about that too today. But what are we? Are we in junior high? Do we have to walk around with Cookie Monster puppets in order to communicate with each other? Where's the maturity of this country? And why can't you take this crisis in our race's history seriously?
Where's the crisis? I don't really see any crisis right now. I see the president doing a good job. The economy's roaring. There's record low unemployment among blacks, Hispanics, Americans in general. Everybody, we're having a great time, and we're going to do the same thing in 2020. So I don't really see the crisis you speak of. Where's the crisis?
You don't see the crisis, ABL, because the president of the United States is not threatening to vaporize you with the Infinity Stone.
Is that what he did?
Yes.
I mean, I saw that meme. I thought it was just a funny joke. I mean, who took that seriously? I mean, come on.
Who took that seriously? I'll tell you what being serious about politics is, Anthony, and then you can really ponder it for the next time we talk.
All right, go for it.
Talking serious about politics is something you do with your loved ones at night in a very romantically lit room with Frank Ocean playing in the background, candles on, and you can do that anytime. You can just contact me, Don Lemon, over at CNN.
I think not, sir. That might not be how I really go about doing things. So thank you anyway, but I think I'll just go ahead and pass on that. I think politics is just for people that want to go out there and vote for the right person. You know, it's not a personal thing. It's not about, anything else. It's just, vote for the right person. And then some people want to use memes to get across their message. And that's pretty much it, man. It's not that serious.
All right, Anthony. I tried. But Brian here, take the phone.
Uh-oh. you got Brian Seltzer there?
Anthony, this is a tremendous disappointment.
Oh.
I had to talk to Don just so I thought I could talk some sense into you, but you keep having different fake Brian Stelters on. And, that the level of disrespect, I mean, how do you expect to be taken seriously by the media when you have these, these absurd morons calling in and just imitating real serious, hardworking journalists?
I'm not quite sure who the serious hardworking journalists are. Would that be you and Don, your friend right there? I'm not quite sure you guys qualify for that particular title.
Wait. I just want to clarify for the audience that I'm with Don Lemon currently, but I'm not with him.
Hey man, it's a no judgment zone. Whatever you two grown men want to do, that's perfectly fine with me. No judgment. It's whatever. But go ahead.
But you realize, I mean, you keep having all of these, awful opinions and making fun of people like Greta Thunberg that are saving the world. And things like that, and think about the difference that she's made in just a year. A year ago, she was cutting school and looking sour-faced on video, And now she's saving the planet by having her photo printed on millions and millions of magazine covers. And what are you doing?
You said a year ago she was cutting school and looking sour faced. She's doing the same exact thing right now. I don't really see much of a difference. She's still cutting school because she's not in school right now. She's still on a strike and she still looks sour faced. So I don't really see any improvement. Matter of fact, I saw a clip of her the other day where she said, "We've accomplished nothing." So even Greta has admitted that they have done nothing. She's just basically being out here used as a political pawn, probably by her parents and by you guys in the media who want to cover her all the time.
I think she's accomplished a lot. And every morning I wake up and I have her picture posted on my headboard. And I just look at that picture and think, what can I do to make Greta's day really be worth it as the host of CNN's reliable sources on the most trusted name in news? And I think if everyone adopted that attitude and really thought about it, we could actually reverse this climate change and, save the polar bears. But I don't think you care, Anthony. I think that you're willing to go and support the angry orange till the very end. Why is that?
Well, I think that the president is doing a great job. I don't really see, all this hubbub about climate change and global warming, global cooling, ozone layer, acid rain, whatever they want to call it nowadays in 2019 going into 2020. I don't see these problems. Everything is going good for me. So I'm going to support the president as long as he does a good job. And that's what he's doing right now. You guys over at CNN could just stop crying for once, get a tissue, dry your eyes, and move on with your day.
Well, it's very nice of you to say that, but the day will come for you too, Anthony. And the walls are closing in, and you can't stop them. Tomorrow, Skeletor, Queen Mary, Nancy Pelosi is going to drive forth the forces of good to expel the evil possession of our country by this demon that's in the White House. And do you want to be stuck there on his side when that happens?
I'm not sure that's kind of a far-fetched thing right there. I think I'm pretty much good. I don't got to worry about that. Everything is just fine over here. I'm not worried about no demons or no Warcraft things just popping up in real life. Everything's all good over here. We're just making America great again, doing a good job with the country, and that's pretty much all there is to it.
Well, I mean, he promised all this stuff for you, and he promised you a wall. But mark my words, Anthony, you're going to regret it.
Hey, we'll see. We'll see about that. We'll see how it works, how it pans out.
All right. Have a good night. And the walls are closing in.
All right, now. Thank you for the call.
Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to that was Don Lemon first, and then it was Brian Stelter. So shout out to them. You got these guys from that powerhouse network, CNN. Take a little bit of time just for little old me to come down from their ivory tower in the sky and talk to me. So shout out to them. Some are going to say that was a troll call, wasn't real. But hey, man, I got to say that was a real call. That was real people. But let me get to some more calls. But first, I got to tighten up my audio because you guys can't hear it right now. But the ringing is crazy in my ear. I just turned the desktop audio off. I always do this because Skype won't let me save the settings when I exit the program. I got to do it manually every time and the window's back in. But let's just see if we can fix it up here. There we go. Alrighty, let's get to the next call. Let's go. Hold on. 815, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes, 815, who am I speaking to?
No, I was just saying, they just be doing like voice jokes and stuff. You can talk some serious stuff,
What?
So I mean, in New York, serious stuff. In New York, they're trying to get.
So you got to speak up. I can't, sir. Listen, sir. I can't really hear you, so you got to speak up. Are you on speakerphone?
Well, big ones. I had a tiny one at work, and then all of a sudden, they come over with these bigger ones.
Okay.
It's like an iPhone 6 or something.
Okay, so what's going on? What's happening?
No, I was going to say, I heard the funny stuff with, voiceovers. In New York and stuff like that, they're going to give driver's license to illegals and stuff. I mean, this is crazy. Then they have a valid way of, screwing up the election with Trump. Trump's going to win, but they're already setting up the game plan, to, get illegals voting and stuff. Like, how do you give a driver's license? And, and then you see these sovereign citizens that are like American citizens. They think that they don't have to have it. We're traveling. We're not driving. So they don't need insurance. So people, you can't have a society like that where you have people with no insurance, a driver's license while they shouldn't even be in this country. And, they slam into your family or something like that, do, whatever. What's the price to pay? And then they fight to get them, thrown out of the country, having deported and stuff. It just, I don't know. You there?
Yeah, I'm right here listening to you, man.
Oh, okay. No. Yeah, I turned my TV off and stuff. I don't know if we're talking one-on-one, but yeah, that's what really takes me off. The Brian Stoker stuff, that's all just a joke. But what's really happening right now, Trump won, and they just don't want to accept it. It's just like with Brexit. I understand there's a lot of ruckus going on over there in England and so that the idiots just still say no, and we can't have that happen here. But I mean, in New York, you can't give out driver's licenses to people that don't even belong in this country in the first place.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, I just want to maybe open up that topic and stuff. But yeah, I just enough's enough already. This how would they call it? Politically correct. That's gone. That's why we voted for Trump. Say what you mean what you say, and that's all there is to it. And that's what they can't handle. The Democrats can't handle it. They're like, no, Trump can't be in there. He's supposed to play along with everybody else for the longest time, all the other criminals.
That's right.
So, God bless America. And, like I said, enough's enough. Even we won. They got to, we got to stand behind that. We won, and we're going to win again. We did it before, and we can do it again. That's an old song from, I think, World War II. We did it before, and we can do it again. We can, I'm serious. God bless America. God bless you. And, I got kicked off of Twitter. I don't even know what I did. I had like 4,000, followers and stuff. And I just sent something off that's, I don't know, kicked something off, and boom, they kicked me off. So now, I still watch YouTube and stuff and follow you and so that, but I got no way of getting my voice out anymore, which really sucks. But that's the way Twitter's going these days. They just, they just knock you out.
No doubt, man. Well, I thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
All right. You take care of yourself. God bless America, man.
All right. God bless you, man. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Having a good time over there, coming from New York. Big time, good time in the Big Apple. Let me get to the next call here. And let's go with 865 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, my man.
What's happening?
It's Aaron up here in Sevierville.
All righty, Aaron. What's going on?
Man, I seen Virginia gun rights in your description. I had to call in. I hadn't called in a while, but you got me fired up. I'm going to slow roll towards that, though, with your description here. UK conservative win.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
The UK is stepping up. They're waking up. They're getting rid of the EU, getting sick of the controlling, the boot on their throat. Finally.
That's right. I mean, it was only a matter of time because it's only so much abuse you can take. It's only so much, of a deterioration of your country you could take. At a certain point, you got to stand up and say, no more. We're not going to do this anymore. We're going to do something different.
Exactly. How can they wait this long? They done had their gun rights stripped from them. They got bins on the corners at grocery stores asking people to turn in their butcher knives. You got to have an ID to buy spoons in the grocery stores. It's ridiculous over there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Pelosi, come on, man. She is a joke. It's ridiculous. They're just telling on themselves. Every time they bring something out, they make a big show of it. Days and days of this and that. hey, look, we got him. But what happens? It turns right around and bites them right in the buttocks.
That's right.
It's getting them, man. It's funny. It's hilarious. I love it, actually. People say, "Oh, it's a sham. It's an embarrassment on America, whatever." I think it's hilarious. I enjoy it every day. Just hilarious. It's my entertainment.
Now I hear you, and then the when it comes to an end, it's going to get even funnier as it gets closer and closer to the end, and then they're seeing that it's going to be over. It's going to be that much more funny.
It's going to be 2016 election all over again. I stayed up till the end of that night. I waited till like 1:30 in the morning watching all these crybabies screaming and running around crying. It was entertainment of the year.
Yes.
And it's going to happen again.
100%. I can't wait. It's going to be like that night is going to be one of the better than Christmas, Black Friday. It's going to be great.
Wrap all the holidays all in one. It's going to be better times 10.
Mm-hmm.
I want to touch on something real quick. I know you're true and blue Virginia and all. I see you're wearing the big orange. From what I can gather, you love Tennessee. You're proud of Chattanooga and all that. You're a proud Tennessee representative.
That's right.
You say you're not a religious person.
Uh-huh.
Christian or whatnot,
yeah.
But you've heard of the Netflix gay Jesus. What do you think about all that?
Man, I heard about that. I've not had time to look into it, but I just from what I saw, like the headline and a little bit of an article I read, it's crazy. And like this group, they do things like this all the time. And Netflix is crazy for allowing it to happen. But you know what? The reason why they allowed it to happen is part of the reason why Christianity is good, and I'll explain. The reason why they can have it on there is because they know Christians won't assault them physically.
Right.
We're peace. Like I'm gonna say we. I'm talking about people that are like a part of like Christian culture.
I got you. I know what you're saying.
Right. We're peaceful people. We're not going to be out there just strapping the bomb to our chest, going as Netflix offices, blowing ourselves up. But they know if they put something about Muhammad in there, and he's like talking about he's gay. Oh no, terror attack. They know what the consequence would be. That's why they can just put things about Christianity on there that are negative, disrespectful, because they know they won't get that terror attack put on them.
I got you. You can disrespect. I know you don't identify as a Christian, but you identify as a conservative, and that most resembles a Christian type idealism. So I see why you say we, even though you don't identify as a Christian.
Right.
Right. And they know they can bully around Christians because they're not extremist as often as other religions may be.
Right. That's the only reason, because if it were if we were the type to go around doing suicide bombing attacks and stuff like that, then they couldn't do this because they'd be afraid of the consequence. They don't want to start some kind of war where people are getting hurt in the street, then they're liable for it, then it becomes a legal situation.
Right. I appreciate your sight on that, your insight, your opinion. And now I'm going to get fired up. I saved this to last because I'm going to get a little upset and a little bit loud, ABL. Virginia gun rights. You got me hot, man. When they start talking about, oh, we're going to bring in the National Guard to enforce our illegal, unconstitutional gun rights. No, you got to stop it. You got to, man. I'm shaking right now, ABL. You're making me mad when you mention this. These people have lost their minds. It's in our Constitution. Our rights are indisputable. We have this right to bear arms. You will not take it from us. Alex Jones said it the best. 1776 will commence again. I know these hillbillies in Tennessee will pour out of the mountains to come help you boys in Virginia.
That's right.
Just make the call.
and it'd be the same thing the other way around. We'll help each other. That'll be how that goes. Like a lot of these guys, I know them. I done met them, and talked to them, grew up around them, and they don't talk too much. They're not out here, like me on the internet talking, but they're there and they're prepared, very prepared for a thing like this to happen.
I don't run around town shouting at the top of my lungs about this and that, but I'm going to let you and all the viewers and listeners know that we're out here and we're ready. We're prepared. Everybody that's been here, the silent majority, we all know what's coming, and we're ready for it. Thank you, ABL. Keep doing what you're doing. We love you. God bless you, brother.
God bless you, man. Thank you for the call.
Have a good one.
Same to you. That was a great call. Shout out to my man from Tennessee, right there on the border, not too far from us. I mean, not too far from Virginia, I should say, when I was in Virginia. Or matter of fact, no, right there at the border, right there in that area. I've been around there like Bristol and all that, Kingsport, and, great folks out there. So shout out to them. Let me get to my next call here. All right, Jordan, what's going on?
Nothing much, ABL. Can you hear me good?
I hear you well.
All right. How's everything?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
That's good. Hey, when you were talking about chunky yogurt and his whole ordeal with Bernie Sanders, you forgot to bring up one more thing. He was also criticized for his N-word comments.
N-word comments? What? When he said the N-word before?
Yeah. Yes, he did. There's actually a video. If you could look on YouTube right now, it's called Cenk Uygur Loves to Use the N-Word.
Wow.
On YouTube. And it's in a show like 13 years ago when he was talking about Senator George Allen using the N-word. And he started using it a bit too much. And that was one of the things that people used to get Bernie Sanders to not endorse him.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, so if y'all want to check it out, just say Cenk Uygur loves to use the N-word. It's like a 45-second video of him using it like a ton. So
right,
just you can check it out. What else I got to say? Oh, the Billy D. Williams story that you brought up a while back?
Yeah, where he said that he is gender fluid now at 82 years old.
Well, yeah, about that. They're all retracting that story. Because that's not what he said. They revealed that CBS News and all these other outlets misrepresented what he said. What he actually said was that he was talking about embracing the feminine side of man, not actually identifying as female, basically. And when he was asked about the whole gender fluid question, he was like, and here's his quotes: "What the hell is gender fluid?"
Of course, that's why. Because when I heard it, I'm like, 82 years old. That don't make no sense. Like, why at that age, you somebody like, yeah, I'm gender fluid. Like at that age, you know who you are 100% through and through. That is not even part of your vocabulary. It didn't make any sense, which is why I was so kind of amazed by it. But one thing he said was, I use different pronouns. Was that true or false?
I don't know, but I don't know. But it's so weird. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he's just that pronoun thing was just on what he was talking about, Yeah. I'm just going to say that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but whatever. But yeah, they did misrepresent him. CBS News had to retract their statements and then pretty much clarify what he said.
Wow.
So that was funny. That was all funny.
That's hilarious.
What else I got for you? I wanted to add one more thing about Pete Buttigieg. I call him Booty Boy because it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
I think another reason why Black people aren't very attracted to him was because he really likes to shill for Hispanic voters. If you have noticed, he loves to. Like, he's literally talking to Spanish with someone about giving illegal illegal immigrants the right to vote and all that stuff. I think that's another factor in why Pete Buttigieg is not getting the attention from black people that people think he should.
Well, I think the main thing is that people don't know him. Like the establishment. Okay, I'll put it to you like this: Pete Buttigieg to the black community is like every other person that's like low in polling. Like they look at him like they look at Amy Klobuchar or something like that. They don't know him. They know Joe Biden, and then Kamala Harris appears to be somewhat black a little bit to them. Mm-hmm. But Pete Buttigieg, I mean, what does he have that would attract him? It's not really. Why would they look at him as a good candidate? What has he really said that would make him stand out from anybody else? It doesn't make any sense. The media, I think, thought that he would be a great candidate to appeal to the minority voter because he's also a minority, but he's not black. They don't understand it. They think that if you're gay, you're a minority, therefore you should be embraced by other minorities. That's not how that works. So they were just off on their prediction or their expectation.
That's what I think so too. I think that's what it is. And about the conservative win in the UK, you know who they're blaming for all of this, of Boris Johnson winning?
Who's that?
Russia.
No. No, not Russia. Wow. But you know what? What's funny is that I didn't hear them blame Brexit on Russia, but the same wave that carried Brexit over the finish line is the same one that carried Boris Johnson over the finish line, but somehow it's Russia's fault. Really?
Yeah, it's all so confusing. I was just looking on Twitter. I know it's people like the only winner in all this is Russia, and I was like, come on, haven't we been through this all this time? And I think this bounces back to the whole impeachment thing going on. A lot of people, like the guy, what was his name? The Democrat that from the congressman. He was a congressman. His name was Jeff Andrew, and he is representative of New Jersey, and he was so anti-impeachment that he decided to switch parties.
Yeah.
And, obviously other senators are calling him a traitor, that type of thing. They're like, hey, you know that Trump is guilty of this abuse of power, yet you're siding with him. And I'm sitting here like, you all need to chill out, man. It's so weird. Like we spent $35 million on an investigation against Trump colluding with Russia, only for Mueller to have no evidence of it. But for some reason, you see Adam Schiff and all these other guys basically still saying that Donald Trump cheated last election, despite them finding no evidence. And I think what they're saying is that because he's not disavowed when it comes to obstruction of justice or abusing the election, they're still set on the idea that he did anything wrong. Mm-hmm. It's just like I saw Adam Schiff talking about it when they were introducing their bills to impeach Donald Trump, and there were all sorts of wrong with how he said it. He has weird energy in him, but it's just so weird. I just don't like Adam Schiff and all the rest of them, but I'm kind of excited to see what goes on in this trial. I really want to see what happens. I'd like to see the flustercluck that happens.
Definitely.
As this keeps going, because I swear, if Donald Trump is not impeached, this is going to look so bad right now.
It's going to be terrible. 100%.
There's a great image out where there's a picture of a donkey representing the Democrat on ice, and he's walking to impeachment. The ice is slowly cracking. And I think that's a good representation of what's happening. So, yeah, this will be fun. This will be very fun. I can't wait.
Definitely, man.
All right. Well, I'm going to head out. I'll be in chat, and I'll talk to you later, ABL. Merry Christmas.
Same to you, man. Merry Christmas. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Not a problem. Merry Christmas, chat.
All right. Thanks to my man Jordan for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. You guys want to Jordan number to call is 434-658-1220. Let me get to the next call. 702, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Rob in Vegas. How you doing tonight?
Everything's great, man. Can't complain. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, man. You had some great callers tonight. Now I got a lot to live up to. Hey, about the Senate trial. This is a real trial, which means they can call Nadler and all these. Hell, they can call Pelosi too, and they can't not show up.
Yep.
Yeah, this isn't a fake trial like they're doing right now in the House. This is a real trial. So, it'll be beautiful to see these guys get called up.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait. That's what I want to see. I think that's why Mitch McConnell says that he's not going to just simply dismiss the charges. He's going to acquit the president. So let's have the trial and bring everybody out to the front. Like, that's what I want. That's going to be better than the OJ trial. That'll be better than anything that's been on TV in the past 25 years. I can't wait.
And the ratings are going to be all over it, too.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Okay. Now going over to England with the Boris Johnson, man, he just tore it up. And they say he won the north of England, which is their Rust Belt. Places that hadn't voted for a conservative in 40 years.
Wow. That's huge. That's big. That's very big because Europe, especially on the Western Europe is known for being pretty liberal or having a problem with liberalism just being so dominant over there. But when you're able to win areas you haven't won in 40 years, that's big. And I think we might see the same thing over here. People are going to be surprised at what happens in 2020.
It'd be funny if some of California went red.
Oh, that'd be crazy. Crazy.
Here's a good one, too. Tonight, I've been called by 2 phone surveys for the election. I sort of changed it up a little bit because if I tell them I'm white, no, thank you.
Right.
Click. So I've changed my status to Hispanic.
That works.
Hey, I'm married to a Chilanga, born in Mexico City.
There you go. It works.
I got the end. Yep. So, man, yeah, all the questions they're asking. Oh, yeah. Oh, how do you feel about Trump and the impeachment and all this stuff? It's like, man, I've been blowing those surveys up. But let's see, what else do I got here? Man. Yeah, I vote Republican, but we've had a couple good Democrats, and our governor here in Nevada, Sisolak.
Yeah.
When they came at him for the Electoral College, voting to get rid of it,
mm-hmm.
He told them to take a hike. Because we're a small state, so, we're going to get run right over with no Electoral College.
Right.
So he was looking out for my state. So, I can't say nothing too bad about him.
Right. Understandable, for sure.
Yep. But, Virginia, oh, my God. What's up with them?
It's D.C. That's the problem is D.C. because the policies, it's not representative of the people. Like, I don't understand. You got Northam talking about, are we going to have common sense gun control for Virginians? Is it for Virginians or is it for your people in D.C., your cronies in D.C. and on Capitol Hill? It's not for us, Virginians, because, once you leave the major city areas, and even in the major cities, they're not really for all this gun control stuff. It's just not even really a thing. And Virginia is a big state. It's long, too. Like, Northern Virginia, D.C., is nowhere near, like, Southwest Virginia. It's, like, 2 totally different parts of the country, basically. So the policies that happen right there really hurt a lot of just regular Virginians. A good example is when Bristol, which is a border city, you have Bristol, Tennessee on one side. On the other side is Bristol, Virginia. Bristol, Virginia went bankrupt while Bristol, Tennessee did not go bankrupt because of the policies that come from basically D.C. area onto Virginia. So that's the problem right there we're fighting against. And this whole gun control thing is the latest episode of us trying to fight against Northern Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't even. Well, we're right next to Cali, and man, people bail out of Cali and move here, and it's just getting. It's not getting too bad, but the writing's on the wall. If they keep voting Democrat, they're going to just turn Vegas into what would be San Francisco East.
Right.
And I just makes me sick. Hey, but here's some sad news. Did you hear about that college student that got stabbed to death?
What was that in New York?
Yeah, Barnard College.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Barnard College.
Yeah, and they got a 13-year-old in custody for that.
Yeah, man, can you believe? Hey, but isn't that fake news? Because nobody gets killed with a knife, right?
That's right.
Only guns kill people.
Only guns. So you got to have gun control. So
Yeah.
the knives. No, don't worry about the knives. It's okay. You can have 13-year-olds out there robbing people. Obviously, their laws aren't going to work. You got criminals that are going to commit crime regardless. You just got to punish criminals appropriately, and maybe you have less crime.
Yep. I was like, man, maybe they're trying to turn into London over there.
Maybe so.
Yep. Good. Okay. Well, I hit my limit. I'm out of here.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. Yes, it was a 13-year-old Technologic. They caught a 13-year-old. I mean, that ain't nothing new, though. That's, these young boys, 13, 14, 12, 13, 14. That's when they start to get active. Gang banging, robbing. I'd have seen boys that age get shot, killed in the home invasion. True story. If you live in Virginia, you're able to get tried as an adult at the age of 14. Why is the age so low to be tried as an adult? Because you got these young boys out here committing murder, aggravated assault, rape, all of that in high school, middle school. It happens. Mike from Queens, what's happening?
What's going on, Anthony? How you doing?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Yeah, it's a shame with that girl. That's been all over the news up here over the last couple of days.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's really unfortunate. But, I think one person got on the news and they were talking about how that kind of crime was happening in New York, like in the 70s, 80s, 90s, before Giuliani came in to clean things up. And what Bill de Blasio was doing is he's trying to harken back to that time, because a lot of the little, the quality of life crimes aren't really getting pursued. They're just letting things happen. And when you just let stuff go on, this kind of thing is easier to happen, unfortunately.
They're even doing reforms in the justice system with they have a thing that's they're letting criminals out, not giving them parole, just like releasing them. It's insane. I mean, they just continue to run the city into the ground.
Right. Yeah, it's terrible.
It's crazy. I want to talk about the UK elections. I have a warning for liberals. Keep it up. Nancy Pelosi is taking the Democratic Party off the cliff because she got cornered by the real power in the party, which is AOC and the squad. They kept beating the drum for impeachment. They're dumb when it comes to they don't know nothing about strategy. And Nancy Pelosi tried to warn them, but you know what? They beat the drum. They have the following on social media to push it. And that's why the Democrats are in the state that they are. And those 30-somewhat Democrats that are on the fence about voting for impeachment in those districts that Trump won, they're going to start flipping. Hey, listen, you had one that just flipped, the representative in New Jersey.
Yep.
And that's all I'll touch on that. But, a big win for conservatives in the UK. And they also said that this was the biggest gains from the Conservative Party in the UK since 1987, when Margaret Thatcher was the Prime Minister.
Wow. Long time. Very long time.
Yeah, and you know what? The media lied to everyone on this side, even over there, the BBC. It was great to see how the BBC was melting down. Paul Joseph Watson was talking about that, and on how all the liars in the media were talking about, Brexit is dead. Like you said, same thing in 2016, and the people came out and they made their voices heard. This is what's great about democracy and voting. You could fight the powers that be through the electoral process, and not only was it big in the UK for the conservatives to win, it was also a shot through the hull to the socialist movement in the world.
That's right, 100%. I mean, because when you go ahead.
Yeah, what I was about to say is Bernie Sanders is basically the American version of Jeremy Corbyn. So if he was to rise up, his socialism is not going to sell in the Rust Belt. It's not going to sell in a lot of the parts of this country.
Right.
And he's going to go down in flames. I mean, look, they already screwed him once. They know he's too radical. That's why they got him out of the race in 2016.
Right. Right there. I'm with you, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, people don't want socialism. I don't want to. I like my health insurance. I don't want no government-run health care.
That's right. I mean, people don't really want those type of things, and they try to sell it to us. But we can see through what's going on. We're just not really into it. We'd rather just have, what we have been having for a long time has been working out pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. You go to the hospital, you're not going to be denied. They're not going to turn you away. They have to treat you by law. So that's all this stuff about illegal immigrants. They can't. Listen. Bottom line is they're here illegally. They shouldn't be entitled to health care. But if they go to the hospital, they have to be treated. So, that's where it goes out the window that we're a mean and we're a mean society. So on that note, that's all I got. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, have a good night now. Take care.
Same to you. All right, Mike from Queens, thank you for the call. Most certainly appreciate it. Let me get to the next call here. 603 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how you doing?
Everything's great, man. Can't complain. What's going on with you?
Yeah, I wanted to bring up, I didn't know if you heard about the mayors wrote the White House for more refugees and migrants. It was like a huge thing, and I don't know if you saw that. I read it, and I couldn't even believe it. It was almost like they were mocking the American people, and said these migrants and third world refugees will help America. We need more of them. And the list was huge. You wouldn't even believe how many of them were on there. And the question is your mayor on it? Because we have some from Massachusetts. I'm in southern New Hampshire, not too far away. And also, I think a huge thing, man, when we talk about them rigging the votes and all this, is the electronic voting machines. And Soros-owned companies own a bunch of those, multiple ones, and Google actually does like the fact-checking on these electronic voting machines, and it was shown not too long ago, and there was like a 14-year-old girl or whatever that hacked into it, and it showed how that you could hack into it because it's connected to the internet.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't seen this list, so I'm going to check it out.
Yeah. And then just recently, there was a girl in Michigan, and she was wearing a Trump pin. It said Women for Trump. And she was in school, and the teacher, a male teacher, came up to her, and he said, "You got to take that." And then he grabbed the pin off of her. And she's like, "Get away from me," And then he grabbed her shoulder and physically pulled the pin off her. And then he goes, "I'm gonna wear it." And then he put it upside down on her. And now at least I don't know how the father wouldn't want to bash that guy's brains out and say that he was maybe temporary insanity.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I mean, if you touching my kid, then we're gonna have to go outside and do the,
Yeah, we're gonna have a little scoot out.
That's right.
But But I think maybe the mom, perhaps, or someone with a little clearer mind, said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take the legal route, and they're filing a complaint on him through, a legal complaint, and it went to the police, and they're looking into it right now. And though it's funny, you don't see that story unless you dig it up and you see it on local news. It was like Fox 47 or something. I'm up in, Boston area or whatever. I don't know. And then, I saw Trump 3 times during the primaries, and people were all laughing at me. They were laughing at me, but my family, coworkers, everybody was going, "He's a fool. Yeah, you don't know." And I saw him 3 times, and I was never more than like 5th in line. I went right up to the front, and I got his autograph. And that autograph, I looked it up. I'm like, it was just a piece of paper with a nothing. There was no pence. He didn't even pick his running mate. And now it's worth like $3,000 or whatever. So, but I'll tell you what, because I worked in Boston for a few years during like 2010 all the way up to like 2016 or whatever, and I had a Trump sticker on my back window. I'm telling you, I'm getting chills right now. You wouldn't even believe these psychos. They would ride my tailgate. I'm trying not because it says don't curse, and they'd ride me, and they're beeping their horn, and they're swerving and bobbing and what?
Really?
Like,
all of that for a sticker?
Yeah, because I had a Trump sticker on my back.
Wow.
Yeah, that's about where they're at. But first time I called in, but I've been listening to you for a long time, and I appreciate your work. I'm that first 508 guy, and I'll let you go. I know there's tons of callers, so thanks a lot for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
Shout out to the caller. Wow. Really, all of that for a Trump sticker? I mean, come on. Why get so triggered about that? It doesn't make any sense. We get to the next call. I had one I wanted to answer. Hold on. I'll get to you guys' calls in just a moment. You guys, please hang in there. I appreciate you for joining. Super chats. We got super chats. Thank you to everybody that super chatted. I definitely appreciate you guys. Thank you to Mandatory Carrier who says keep fighting and go Britain. I'll be back after work. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Tina who says this is a real threat. I thank you for that. I think it's probably talking about the Virginia situation. And Tina also says that's so funny. Thank you for your call. Shout out to Christopher Ross who says thanks ABL. Well, thank you for your donation. I most certainly appreciate you. Did I get everybody? I think that's it right there. I think I pretty much got everybody so far. And thank y'all for being here. I most certainly appreciate you. All righty, let's go to... All right. 804, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Ronnie.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Oh, not much, man. I'm here in Virginia, and I want to know what, the opinion. Look, like the governor has been like threatening to pull out the National Guard. They're threatening to fire law enforcement officials. I mean, what's ABL? What's your opinion on, how this goes? I mean,
it's not going to go very far because it's going to be too much of an outlash, a public backlash against it. You're going to see people in liberal areas, rural areas, conservative, city, everywhere. People are going to be really up in arms about this. And if they're trying to arrest officers, sheriffs, or whatever, they got pretty much arrest everybody. And who's going to want to actually be out there patrolling the streets? You're not going to have anybody on your side if you are the government trying to do a thing like this. So,
exactly, I agree. But also, a sheriff, a duly elected sheriff, you can't fire no duly elected sheriff.
Right.
I mean, the sheriff is the law of the land in the county he's elected in. I mean, I don't know that these people realize that this is serious. I mean, the Democrats he's tripling down. He's not doubling down.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this really is like 1776 revisited. I mean, ABL, you are a Virginia native. You see our flag? Do you see what it says?
Sic semper tyrannis. That's
Yes,
how I
sir.
bring death to tyrants.
Yes, sir. And that, and that's the abbreviated, explanation of it. I mean, if you, I don't think, we all need to keep a level head. I really, and I also would like to invite you, Lobby Day. You need to come to Lobby Day. You should cover that. It's a business expense. Come to Lobby Day on the 20th of January. That's going to be a big deal. It really is.
Where's it going to be?
Whole country.
Is it going to be Richmond?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Capitol Hill. I mean, the whole country is watching Virginia. And, Virginia, it's just like in the past. We're being tested here. I mean, when you see 91, at this point, 91, I think it is, localities, whether they be cities, towns, or counties, have said no. And I really think that this could possibly swing Virginia, back to the reddest of red. Because Democrats have guns and like to go hunting in Virginia too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these laws. I have a shotgun. My shotgun would be illegal. These are ridiculous laws. That a pump shotgun that I own would become. I'm going to be a felon because I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not giving you my gun. And I'm not going to register anything. And I'm not the only one.
Right.
There's not enough. There really is literally, and there's, and I also do not believe mobilizing the National Guard. This ain't Katrina. We aren't in a state of, national catastrophe. It ain't going to work out right. And a lot of these people are our neighbors that they're Ralphie Boy needs to come do it himself if he thinks it can really be done. I mean, you can see him backing down, but I don't want what's going to happen.
No, I understand. I understand where you're coming from. It's like nobody wants things to go the wrong way. But if we are pushed to a certain point where we have no choice, then something's going to happen that we don't want to happen.
Exactly, and that is the point we're at. I mean, when you see, I sat there and watched a live stream of Rockingham County. There were 3,000 people.
Wow.
Packed in the school gym in Rockingham County with another 3,000 outside that couldn't get in, saying no. I mean, I personally, I'm a member. I'm a New Kent County resident, so I'm in Central Virginia. I mean, Richmond is 20 miles that way, from me, and it's just it's the people. The silent majority is irate in Virginia.
Right.
And and it's not, like I said, it's not all, there's plenty of Democrats. They like to hunt. ABL, you grew up here. You know how Virginia is. There's a lot of rural areas in Virginia. And they don't,
yeah, I know how it is. I got family. They go hunting. They go on the hunting trips. Hunting season start. They're out there, and it's not even about a political thing. It's just part of their culture, how they grew up. So you can't just.
And now they're going to be criminals.
Right. It's not. People just not going to accept that. You can't just say the way that they grew up. They've never heard anybody out there just hunting. A lot of times they're hunting for food. They're canning. You can't just say now you're a criminal. You just told to killing their whole way of life for no real reason. They've not done anything to anybody. You're punishing them just for being law-abiding citizens.
Well, and this is also a big-time New York Bloomberg buy, and we know that. You know, the Virginia, look, you move your New York politics below the Mason-Dixon line.
Right.
It's on.
Right.
It's on now. And the whole country is watching. And January 20th of next year is going to be a very interesting day. I'll be there. I hope to God you come, because I would love to walk up and say ABL and shake your hand, because I love what you do. I really do. I appreciate you, and I love watching your shows. I watch all your updates. This is the third or fourth time I've been able to talk to you, and I'm glad about that. Man, I hope you come.
Well, I'm gonna try to get out there for sure. I mean, I've been in the Capitol before. Of course, I've been in Richmond. I got family right there, like in Highland Springs. I could stay with them, so it wouldn't really be.
Yeah. Oh, Highland Springs, you'd be right around the corner.
That's right.
I mean, like I said, I'm in New Kent. You're right by the airport.
Yep, right by the airport, exactly. So I can come out there. So I'm gonna definitely try to make it for sure.
I wish you would, because like I said, I'd love to, if nothing else, walk up, say, "Hey, it's me," and shake your hand.
Well, hey, man, sounds good to me, man. Thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for accepting.
All right, no problem. All right, shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. And shout out to First Fire 508, Brighteon, who says, I lived in Crew, Virginia for a year. I know Crew. I've been through Crew. That's right on, what's that, 460? Yep. I'll go that way when I don't want to go 6481 over to like Roanoke, West Virginia. I'll go 460 so I can just cut up under the interstate and not hit the mountain. Yep. Shout out to Crew. And let me get to my next call. The phone lines are blowing up. 214, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, man, what's up, ABL? This is Tariq, bro.
All right, Tariq, what's happening?
Oh, not much, man. Just lots to just touch up on some stuff, man. I just want to talk about Kamala Harris and the impeachment and what's going on with the Democratic Party, man. But first, to start with Kamala Harris, man, like, I'm so glad that she gained no momentum or traction, man, because she came off as very arrogant, man, very self-serving, and she act like she doesn't have to answer for any of her record, especially her process. I don't know if she was an attorney general or what in California, but whatever she was, a lot of people said she was horrible, man. And when she drops out, she's like a Hillary Clinton in a black face. When she drops out, she wants to sit there and blame sexism. You know what I'm saying? or the fact that a black woman never got a chance. And this is the problem I have with the Democrats, man. Like, especially the sadly the ones who are women, they don't want to take accountability, man. It's like when they drop out, it's everyone else's fault. I think that and she didn't get much of the black community support, man. And I don't know, man. Do you think a lot of it is due to because she has a white husband? Do you think a lot of black people kind of frown on that?
Well, not really. I think the main thing is just that people just she didn't really do a good job. She didn't run a good campaign. People don't know who she is. People know Joe Biden more than her because of Barack Obama. Barack Obama had more of an impact. See, it's one thing to be black, but then you got to make an impact too, because you have another guy in there. Yeah. You have the guy Deval Patrick. That's Barack Obama's friend. I think he's married to a black woman. I'm not really sure, but people don't know him. You got to come out there and make an impact. If you don't, then nobody's going to care.
Yeah, and you're right, man. And, Cory Booker is next to go. I think the Obama effect is faded, man. I think some black folks are waking up as far as black politicians. Now, I still don't understand according to the media, Joe Biden got a lot of the most black support, which is just ridiculous to me, because this is just purely because he was Obama's VP and nothing else. Like, you can't really name a policy or anything that Joe Biden stands for, man. Like, I don't really know why he's leading in the polls. Like, his speeches are boring, man. Like, I don't understand his appeal. I just feel like what happens is the mainstream media props up these candidates and they decide who's going to be the front runners. And sadly, liberal Americans just follow through. And speaking of the mainstream media with Donald Trump being impeached, man, like, the main thing with the media especially is that the media, they don't like that they don't have control of the narrative, man. Back in the day before social media, the media can be like, they can choose certain candidates for the Republicans or Democrats. It doesn't matter. All of them are boring. All of them are monotone. They are boring. They're not exciting. But, the media will prop them up and say, well, this is the leading front runner Republican. This is the leading front runner Democrat. The problem with Donald Trump is that he was not supposed to be where he's at. And despite the media's constant attacks on him, despite the some of even the RNC, the Republican Party went against him, a lot of never Trumpers, Trump still won, man. And I think a lot of this personal vendetta we're seeing from the media is the fact that they no longer have a hold on the American people. And if we vote Trump again in 2020, that will solidify that they really have no more reach on us, So I think this is why we're seeing this all or nothing, do or die, this stupid impeachment that is not going to, I don't understand the impeachment, bro, because I'm thinking like, do the Democrats really want to win, man? Because I'm just like, he's not going to get impeached in the Senate. And I don't even see a lot of liberals talking about this impeachment unless they're just these super left, far left, just emotional types. But I'm trying to see, like, what strategy is the Democrats trying to play? Like, do you think they believe that if Trump gets impeached in the House, this may hurt him? They can probably use that politically against him in the election.
Well, yeah, that's the general goal at this particular point in time. I think that people like Nancy Pelosi are trying to do that. They're just trying to hurt him in the general election. But some people think they're actually going to be able to get a chance of getting them out, your AOCs of the world, because what Pelosi was doing was trying to use the Russia thing as an informal impeachment inquiry. That was her whole point with doing that. But then it didn't yield anything. So people like your AOC and everybody else, they want to keep on going and just say, hey, call it impeachment. And now they kind of back into a corner. So they're going to try to use it and say, oh, well, he's been impeached. You shouldn't vote for him. Although they know that it won't really go anywhere because he won't get convicted and removed from office.
Yeah, man, it's just such a farce. It is. I mean, and this is why a lot of people are really not liking Democrats, because I just feel like the Democrats take this country as being stupid, man. Like, just the way they talk to us, the way they keep repeating these lies over and over again about Russia helping Trump getting elected, but they can't name one Facebook ad. They keep saying these Facebook ads, but I've yet to see the one effective Facebook ad that was quote unquote set out by Russia that fooled the heck out of me to vote for Hillary. You know what I'm saying? Because for them to say that Russia interfered in the election, what they're saying is that we were just too stupid to see that propaganda and Hillary was the right choice. It's like almost what they're telling us to ignore all of her corruption, ignore what she did in the past, and we should have voted for Trump. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just these Democrats, man, just coming out saying Trump abusing his power and things like that. People are getting sick of that, man. Like, we're like, yo, like, we're sick of the emotion baiting. We're sick of this. Like, come up with some policies, man. But yeah, I don't see how this will go through. And just one more thing, man. So I want to speak on the Republicans in the Senate. Like, these three Republicans, the Lisa Murkowskis, the Susan Collins, and the Mitt Romneys, man, if someone asks them, what's your view on this impeachment, and they're like, well, I don't know, I got to see all the evidence, man, I hope we vote all three of them out, because there is no way you cannot see how unfair this impeachment is and still try to hold neutral at this point. Like, you know what I'm saying? The way that they're not allowing Trump witnesses to come in, the way how they're railroading this, the way you can see how the deep state is trying to get out Trump. If you're going to still hold this neutral, we're going to see how the process goes. It was kind of bad, so we're going to let it go. They need to get voted out, man. Like, because at this point, there is no excuse for that behavior. None of these people can find one time to criticize liberals, but they always find time to criticize Trump. Whatever Trump says, Mitt Romney makes sure he runs to the Twitter saying something. Susan Collins makes sure she denounces them. Lisa does the same thing. But when these Democrats have these foul moves, You don't hear nothing from these people. So I'm telling you, man, like, we need to really watch those Republicans, and we got to make an example out of them, man. You either with us or against us. But we're not going to tolerate this Jeff Flake crap that you guys put on Brett Kavanaugh, man. That shouldn't be tolerated anymore. And that's pretty much all I want to say, bro.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, take care, boss.
All right, peace. Thanks to my man Tariq for the call. Always a great win. Most certainly appreciate it for that. And thank you guys for watching. The number to call is 434-658-1220. If you want to call in through Skype, so you can be right here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen through video, and I can hear you on audio as well. There's an email for that in the description box below. But let me get to the next call. 240, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, it's your boy JB. What's up, brother?
Everything's good, JB. What's happening?
Man, these people are tripping nowadays. Taking away guns now. They're talking about calling National Guard in. How many people like you think they're gonna fly in West Virginia and Roanoke, Virginia, and and Green and Rolling Green?
it's not going to work out. They're going to see that if they try to do something crazy like that.
And this is my point right here. They're losing their minds here. Like this, and in this whole impeachment inquiry. And you know, I had an argument. I had an argument with somebody. I was trying to explain to people. I wanted to go to trial. Because I want to call witnesses in, and they can't call witnesses. They can commit perjury and everything. Yeah, it's going to look really bad for them.
Yeah, I say, hey, take it to trial, and then we'll see what's really going on. We'll see how everything is really happening, and then we'll get your Joe Biden on stand, your Hunter Biden. We'll really see what's going on at that particular point. See if they're going to allow him to stand or not.
Exactly, and you know, most of the guests they pulled, they said, "Did you hear the call from Donald Trump?" No, I didn't. Every one of the people that called up said no, they didn't hear anything about this call or anything. And I said, they called witnesses up there who didn't know nothing, and they just want to just badge him. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. And everybody, and all my liberal friends, they are losing their minds. He's guilty. I said, no, he's not. I mean, for anything, they shouldn't have been tapping a sitting president's phone. If you really think about it, everybody in the Secret Service knows you just don't do stuff like that, and then you call them out. What they're going to do is send a president who's going to kick him in the butt later on. Don't you think so?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Anytime that the president is doing a thing that you don't like and you want to reverse the election, just go ahead and impeach him. Just hit that button and, you know, totally abuse the way that it's supposed to be implemented in society. And then it might actually backfire when a person gets impeached. Then they wish they wouldn't have done it to begin with.
Exactly, but like I say though, the next election of 2024, I guarantee you, you're gonna see some more radical Republicans come out. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, it may happen.
Because the thing about it is, you can't just be an ordinary Joe nowadays, and in politicals now. You have to be extreme. You got to have that. Follow my sympathy, ethic mentality. Am I lying? Like Donald Trump has.
That's right.
If you don't, guess what? You're not going to make it. Wouldn't you agree?
I'm with you.
And I was trying to explain this to certain people that don't understand how politics go. They don't understand that everything's shifting because guess what? People are tired of the everyday lies they teach us, and more the black vote is being being pulled in between different people. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah.
And I was watching Omar. You know Omar Johnson is. You heard him?
Umar.
Yeah, the fake school teacher.
Yeah. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, he went on there. He was talking about how basically how Obama didn't force a vote, and everybody in the breakfast was all shocked and in their feelings about. He said Obama went for black. He wasn't. He said we have to make the Democratic Party want and live up to what they do for our votes. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean that should be what it is. And a lady came on MSNBC talking about the way you could tell if somebody is a fake person on Twitter is if they ask, what can the Democratic Party do for me? If they don't do anything for me, then they can't get my vote. It's like, really? That's considered fake? I mean, isn't that like that should just be having the brain in your head to say, I'm not going to vote for you unless you give me something in return. Shouldn't that be how it works?
Exactly. And you know what makes me so sickening is so many black people are so programmed. Like I had a conversation about OJ with one of my Caucasian coworkers. The other black guy said, "You don't discuss black issues with a white person," and he said the reason why she got killed was because this is the dumb thing. He said she got killed because she didn't pay the drug dealer their money. I said that's the most preposterous and dumbest thing I've heard in my life. You know what I'm saying? It's like I said, we as black people, we come up with the dumbest of stories to defend stupidity. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Like they said that they had to persecute Bill Cosby and free Meek Mill. I don't care about. I tell you this. Look, Meek Mill, whatever. He was guilty as hell. I'm sorry. Wouldn't you agree?
Who said what? Bill Cosby?
Yeah, it's no. People they say this is trying not new black people trying the new fake white woke people saying that they had to imprison Bill Cosby and free Meek Mill, and one of them had to go down. I said, that's the dumbest thing I've heard in my life. I said, you people are your conspiracy theories. I'm just sick of hearing them, aren't you? Am I wrong for saying that?
Nah, you want it. You want point.
Dumb stuff. You know, I'm just thinking these dumb old theories they have out while white people are holding us back. No, you hold yourself back. And if I hear one person say, you guys get redlined a lot. No, you have bad credit. How about that one? You have bad credit. If you have a 590, you're not getting nothing. You have a 4. It's just what it is.
Right.
Pay your bills on time. Am I right?
That's right.
Okay. Before I go though, how's the VR holding up, brother?
Oh, it's good, man. I'm playing that golf right now. And I'm gonna try to Resident Evil out and see how that works.
Bruh, I'm telling you, that scared me. I ran into a wall mess with that one. I ain't gonna take everything out of the thing and make yourself a barrier. Because it's just one part of this girl jumps at you. She cut my hand off. And you look at your hand is bleeding. You look at your hand, it's bleeding. It freaks me out a little bit. I'm not lying, Bill. I ain't no punk, but goddamn, you see, it's like so real. You look at your hand, it's bleeding. Wouldn't that freak you out a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, that might be something that kind of get me a little different there.
But I'm saying, hey, Bill, you're going to like it, though, and you'll probably like it. It's not too much movement in there. You'll probably like Resident Evil. I think you will. And, yeah, I think you'll like that one. But, hey, Bill, man, keep the faith, brother, and keep the good work up, man. Hey, we can get you into millions, brother. By the end of 2020, you'll be in the millions. I called it the first. I'm going to call it again. I'm calling it out, man. Millions in 2019. 2020.
No doubt, man. Thank you for the call as always, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, brother, man. Peace.
All right, peace. All right, shout out to my man JB for the call, and thank you all for being here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. That'll help me out tremendously. But let me get to the next call. All righty, let's go. 828 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi there, ABL. Merry Christmas to you. This is Janie from North Carolina.
All righty, Janie. Merry Christmas. What's going on?
I was listening to your last caller, and I did listen to the part where Kamala Harris was doing her little bit, and she just came off as just rude, and she was about like Adam Schiff, that she made comments of, personal gains and trying to bribe another country and all these things that that are all lies. But I think she came off very, very rude and ignorant. Because to me, if you really thought about it, there's no way you can believe what the Democrats are saying. You just can't. But then the next thing was about the Virginia and the gun laws. I live out in a rural area here in North Carolina, close to the foothills of the mountains. I live between Hickory and Asheville. And a lot of people hunt here. They hunt, they do bow season and whatever that black powder season is, and then gun season and all that. And you cannot take guns from people who have been around guns their entire life. Around here, it's not unusual for kids, 8 years old, 7, 8 years old, to go hunting with their dad. And for them to try to come and take guns would be a detriment to the law officers. And I was thinking that Trump, that he has full control over the National Guard, does he not?
I believe so.
Even if that governor or whoever it is wanted to call up the National Guard to start going out, that he could stop that. I mean, can he not? Because he's the commander-in-chief over that part of the military.
I believe he can stop it. I'm not exactly sure, but I believe he can.
But this is the way I look at it. If Virginia people don't stand up and they let that happen, then it's going to be just like a firestorm. And I've always said that you're not.
I lost her. That wasn't me that hung up. Sorry for that. I don't know what happened, but thank you for the call. Now, just a quick, what I searched right quick, I see that the states control the National Guard, but Trump can federalize them and control them that way. But maybe that's wrong. You guys in the chat, you guys know better than I can. He can definitely control that one way or another, for sure. Alrighty. So let me get to my next call. Sorry for that one ending. It wasn't my fault. The call just dropped. 607, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, good evening, ABL. This is Chuck calling from North Carolina.
Alrighty, man. What's going on?
I'm doing all right, yourself?
All right, I'm doing pretty well, man. Can't complain.
ABL, the topic I wish to speak about is mainly dealing with this new British election.
You said what now?
And I apologize. I'm coming very late into your stream, your live stream. I'm sorry, but the topic I was going to speak about was this new British election.
Yeah. Okay.
One, I should say.
Alrighty.
I don't know if anyone's mentioned it, but because of this British election, Brexit is pretty much more or less inevitable. I think we all know this. And because of that, it is possible that we actually might see the actual end of the EU itself as we know it.
Oh, that's definitely coming. That's next, for sure. I mean, I've been seeing that coming for a long time because there's movements in other countries to have the EU be less effective or go away totally. I mean, in Eastern Europe, they're not really big fans of the EU. Italy, they don't want the EU. France maybe even doesn't want the EU. Germany may not want them. UK definitely doesn't want them, obviously, because of the Brexit situation. So, I mean, I think the EU will collapse within our lifetimes. I think within the next 15 to 20 years, it'll be gone.
Honestly, I think it might be much sooner than that. Maybe like 2021, 2022.
It could happen.
Honestly.
It definitely could happen.
Because if I remember correctly, I apologize. I am in no way, shape, or form any form of expert on European politics. But, I mean, you got like Matteo Salvini of Italy. I mean, he has like potentially 70% nationalist populist people. I know for a fact they're willing to probably want to leave. I mean, look at France. You got the Yellow Vest protest that's been going on for 13 months straight. They might potentially vote to leave the EU if Brexit goes well. Key word, if.
Yeah.
So my question to you is what do you think will be probably potentially after Brexit? Let's say Brexit goes well. It's 2021, 2022, whatever the case may be. They have trade deal with the United States, most likely that'll happen because Trump will be reelected. We all know that to be true too. So who do you think will be the next country to drop out then?
Italy would be next, in my opinion. And the reason why is because they're getting bombarded due to just jutting out into the Mediterranean. You know, they got all these people coming, and like the way it works, and I'm not quite sure if it's changed, is if you have a boat full of so-called migrants coming from, let's say, Libya, for example. They come out, and once they get beyond a certain point, I think it's like 24 miles into international water, then at that point, they send out a rescue signal, and then Italy comes to rescue them because they're out there in international water, and they got to be rescued by somebody. So what happens is they get rescued, quote unquote rescued, and then brought to Italy. Now you got a migration wave. Now, if they were to leave the EU, they may not be required to do that. I'm not really sure what's requiring to do that right now, but I think it could be the EU. And beyond that, the water rescue, there are other things. You got quotas going on as far as the amount of refugees a country must take. Hungary's against that. I think Poland also was against that. And EU was threatening to fine them or to punish them in different ways because it didn't want to take a certain amount of refugees. And also, you're able to go through different countries. Like if you're able to get into one EU country, you can go to other EU countries without necessarily having to have a visa. It's too many things that cause the EU to not work appropriately. So I think Italy would be next.
And honestly, to be honest, after Italy's gone, I think France would be next, and Germany would be in the final. And after that, EU would be destroyed completely.
Yeah, I mean, if you get the big dogs out, that'd be pretty much it.
I mean, I think the last time I actually visited Germany, I think it was about 3, maybe 4 years ago. That's when they were having the massive Syrian refugees coming in, and I was actually seeing a lot of the people, because my ex-in-laws are actually from the country of Germany. They're Turks, believe it or not, from Germany. And even though they happen to be of Muslim descent, even they are like, yeah, we really don't like these people because, we, go get our jobs, we pay our taxes, and yet we're building all these, these apartment buildings for them and giving them bicycles, this, that, and the other. And like, what about us?
Right.
And they're actually far lefty. Well, rephrase, not far lefties, but they are lefties. And even they're saying, yeah, they may be the same religion as us, but no, they're not us. That's what I'm thinking.
That's right.
And I apologize. The other subject I was thinking about was like maybe the Virginia gun laws. Now, I do understand the rhetoric of what that man has said. I apologize, I can't think of his name. But honestly, personally, I hope to God that the governor and the legislature would have the common sense of like, yeah, we're not going to actually send out the National Guard. Because honestly, I personally believe that if they truly did that, that would be a massive, like more or less a constitutional crisis at that point.
Right.
This would be like looking at the Alamo sort of situation. It just would not be bad. So I really don't think they would do it because, politically, the camera, this, and it would just be a catastrophe beyond the catastrophe.
Yeah, I don't think that would go very good for them because there's so many people that are going to keep their guns. They're well armed. They're trained. They're prepared. It just wouldn't be a good thing overall.
We've already heard cases where red flag laws have been tried to be executed, and there's a lot of people out there like, yeah, you can take my guns over my dead body, and it's happened.
Yeah, it has.
Unfortunately. Right. Now, I apologize. One last question. With the red flag laws, has any of them been dealt with guilty by association?
You said what now? Say that one more time.
Do any of them have wording like guilty of association? Like an example, I'm perfectly 100% law-abiding citizen, mentally stable, this, that, and the other, but I happen to have a sibling or a spouse who is not, and they get flagged. My question is, will my guns get taken away because of the spouse or child?
I don't know. I don't know how that will work at all. I don't have an answer for you on that one, but that's a good question, I suppose.
Because if I'm not mistaken, the school shooting in Connecticut, there was elementary school. The mom was 100% perfectly sane, this, that, and the other, and all the guns were registered to her. But it was her mentally deranged son who killed her and then took her guns and did what he did with Sandy Hook.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sorry, please.
No, I don't know. That's a good question though.
I was just curious if anyone's ever brought that up or thought about that one, and that's not the point.
Right.
Well, ABL, I know I've taken up much of your time, and thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. And you guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. Let me get to the next call here. Nippin, what's going on with you, man?
Oh, I have so much. Now you in the U.S. had not my president, Now over here we're having all these chants, "Not my prime minister."
that was hilarious. It's like, okay, that is not really a chant that kind of flows off the tongue. You might want to change that chant up a little bit.
Yeah, but still, yeah, it's getting the same momentum there. Not my prime. I'm sorry. If you don't want him to be your prime minister, move to another country.
That's right.
Yeah, you know what? Move to Saudi Arabia. You love it there.
It'd be an excellent little vacation, little holiday.
Yeah, if you come back, that is.
Yeah, if you make it.
Don't worry, I'm not drinking any alcohol.
I see you got the wine glass type thing going on. It's all good though.
Yeah, but it's not alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Now. It's Pelosi admits and the impeachment. What? The impeachment scam.
Yeah, she admits it. She says it's been going on for the past 2.5 years.
What?
Yep, like the
been a scam the whole time.
It's basically because the way that the left over here want us to believe is that the impeachment is because of the Ukraine phone call. He abused his power, this, that, and the third. But the truth is that they wanted to get Donald Trump out of office from the very beginning, and it started officially with the Russia investigation 2.5 years ago. And Nancy Pelosi got on TV and admitted that.
Wow. So weird. Now Virginia are trying to take away gun rights. Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, it's not gonna work out too well for them.
Yeah, I don't know how a state like Virginia managed to elect, no, not Terry McAuliffe, he's gone now, Ralph Northam. I still don't get how Ed Gillespie lost the election.
It's because of D.C. D.C. is running Virginia. It's too many people coming from other states in the country that go to D.C. for these high-paying jobs. They control the politics in Virginia. That's the problem. So these liberals are getting into high office through that through those means.
Wow. So yeah, now you know how a lot of people are banned from radio for voicing opinions that are not right.
Of course.
Yeah. Now a football legend has been banned from sports TV from appearing as a pundit for quotes taken out of context about Hitler.
What did he say?
He just let something loose called Siege Heil, but he wasn't. He didn't say it as if he wanted to say it. He was saying something about the history, and that some sort of came out, and they got all SJW and banned him.
Okay, so he wasn't expressing it like Sheikh Heil. He was just saying history, and then the word was used, and the phrase was okay.
Yeah, have you heard of a football? His name was Marco van Basten. He's Dutch.
Yeah, I don't know him.
But yeah, search him up. He got banned for no reason. I mean, if you're gonna ban, have you heard of Diego Maradona? I mean, a lot of people see him as, he's the best. He was friends with Fidel Castro.
Wow.
To Che Guevara as a idol. As in, like, you just, look, that Dutch Van Basten, he only said something about Hitler. While Maradona, have you heard of him, by the way? I'm just going on about him. But
yeah, I've heard of him, yeah.
Yeah, Diego Maradona. Well, he was actually friends with Fidel Castro.
Right. So that's a big difference. I mean, you say a thing about somebody, you get banned, but you actually are friends with somebody that was a terrible man. Oh, it's no problem. It's all good.
Oh, and not only that, he got banned as an icon on FIFA.
Right.
What's,
That's your door. You got a little bit of I cut you, so you good.
yeah. So yeah. I don't see why they. You know what? If you're gonna ban the Dutch guy from FIFA, ban Diego Maradona as well. Either you keep both or you lose both.
That's right.
You can't. Yeah. So that's it.
I'm with you, man.
So yeah, and I just don't get it anymore. Why we are going into a society where you can be friends with an actual dictator when you you don't get banned, and you actually just reference something from a dictator, and then you get banned and diminished.
Right.
That's something that doesn't make sense. Yeah, look up the Marco van Basten thing, and then you will know what I mean.
I'll look them up for sure.
Yeah, so... Yeah, that's just bad. And you know, I kind of got ostracized on Facebook for commenting, saying that someone put on Facebook saying, if you voted Conservative, unfriend me. I tried to rescue myself by saying, I don't like politics. Unfortunately, that person saw right through me.
No doubt. I mean, that's what happens. Like,
so I was trying to rescue myself by saying I don't support anyone.
Yeah, but internet stuff like that, people always kind of like just resort back to how they feel about a person without actually knowing them. That's kind of how that goes in person. A lot of these interactions are a little bit different. Hey, Nippin, I know it's been good, it's been real, but I got a lot of calls online tonight, so I got to get to a few more.
Yeah, I shall see you on Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. I am on holiday for a month now, so I'm back to both Wednesdays and Sundays.
Alrighty.
So I'll see you on Wednesday.
Alrighty, so you then.
Yeah, Wednesday your time, Thursday mine. Let's just make that clear.
I got you, boss. Thank you for the call.
I shall see you on Wednesday.
Alrighty.
See you then.
All right, peace.
Peace.
All right, my man Nippin with the UK phone call. You know, late at night, might be kind of making a little noise in the house. Shout out to my man Nippin. Always a good time. Let me get to the next call here, though. Let's go. 651, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Mr. ABL, sir. How's it going?
Everything is great, man. How about yourself?
Very good, very good. So I would apologize for my voice. I'm a little bit sick, you know. I'm in Minnesota and pretty cold outside. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So the first thing I want to talk about is the whole thing with Nancy Pelosi admitting that this was a whole scam, you know, the impeachment thing. Just like how Mueller admitted that this was a whole scam. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't. Like, what did he say?
Oh, no, I meant, like, Mueller said, like, there was nothing. Sorry, I didn't mean scam. I meant, like, he said there was nothing. You know, there was really no evidence saying that Trump was guilty of a crime committed. You know what I mean?
Right, of course. Like, at the end of it, the conclusion was, you know, there's no evidence here. This is not even, this is nothing. Yeah.
Right. Sorry about that. I mixed up my words for a second. So what I want to ask you is, do you think that the Democrats are going to cook up something else? They're going to try to make up another witch hunt. You know, I have a feeling that there's going to be another wave of what I want to say, like witch hunt, like material the Democrats are going to spew out again. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I think I'm not really sure what they're going to come up with next. It'd be interesting. I think they want to come up with something. I think they want they wanted the Russia thing to work. That didn't work. And they may want this impeachment thing to work, at least to get Trump out of office, to just reduce the confidence of the average voter who may think that he's already been removed, who doesn't really understand what's going on with politics. So they may try to do that. And if that doesn't work, then they may just kind of give up because I don't know what else they can do next. They might just keep on screeching and hollering on television every time they get a chance to get 2 seconds of airtime. But beyond that, I don't know about the next grand scheme they're thinking about. It'd be interesting to see what they come up with next, though.
Yeah, I honestly have a feeling that they're going to come up with something next. Again, another witch hunt, another scam, like scam artists, to be honest. I don't know. I have a feeling, but I don't think it's going to get worse from here. In fact, I honestly think it's going to be getting better. I'm optimistic about what's going on, especially what's happening in the UK. In the UK, the Conservatives won by a landslide, and then while I was watching, this could be the end of the EU. And the EU is just so messed up and jumbled up in so many ways. There's so many loopholes. Like if a man from Libya goes to Italy, he can go all across Europe without a visa.
That's right. It definitely can.
Yeah, and it's a whole mess. And we can't also forget that the Yellow Vest protest, people want out of this. People are sick of this. And, I know about the Yellow Vest. Not a good thing. I've always wanted to go to Paris, but I don't want to go now because they're throwing the Molotovs all over the place and turning cars over. It's chaos.
Right.
And they're rioting in Spain. They're rioting in Germany. It's like the world is starting to wake up and to realize that socialism and liberalism is a terrible thing. My parents, actually, my father grew up in a socialist country. At least he was born there. And my grandmother was born in North Korea. And yeah, we don't like socialism. We can see how socialism is a terrible, terrible thing. I also want to talk to you about the Virginia gun thing.
Okay.
So you're from Virginia, right? And I heard that your family goes on hunting trips, right?
Well, my family don't go on hunting trips, but people I know, friends of mine, they go on hunting trips, and I am from Virginia.
Oh, yeah. So the thing is that I don't know why the Democrats cannot understand how gun laws work. If you take guns from citizens, you know who's going to get guns, right?
Well, yeah, of course, it'd be the criminals. I mean, people that understand what's happening,
Criminals will never follow the law. They're criminals. And the citizens don't have the guns to protect themselves. Gun and gun. They just can't understand it. Oh, but there's a school shooting. Oh, yada, yada, yada. Blah, 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 blah. Well, that's because there's a mentally deranged child and anybody can get a gun. I mean, you know what I mean. It's if your father has a cabinet and you have a deranged child, the child can go get the gun, but it's not the gun law's fault. It's not, you shouldn't ban guns because some deranged child got his hands on a weapon. If a child got his hands on a rock and bashed the kid's head in, should we ban all rocks?
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It makes no sense. It honestly depends. And if you take away guns, it's going to be chaos because there's going to be criminals on the streets shooting up people, and there's going to be no people to stop it. The reason why there are shoot-ups in Walmart is because it's a gun-free zone. So people couldn't just shoot the guy before he killed 12 more people.
That's right.
And it really scares me because, as I say, I live in the Minneapolis area. They do not like guns. I mean, yes, outside Minneapolis, but they do not like guns. The area. They are heavy liberals in this area, and honestly scary because there are shoot-ups in the Minneapolis area. And
so you say there are shoot-ups that happen, but people don't like guns, so they rather just be a victim of the shooting rather than being able to defend themselves.
I don't know what to say anymore. It confuses me, you know. And and another thing I've noticed that really bothers me is the censorship of YouTube. Now, I know this is off topic, but the liberals control the media, and somehow they managed to get to YouTube in a way. So there was this disturbing video of 6 black kids beating up a white kid who was also a MAGA supporter because he supported Trump. This was a hate crime. And they didn't show this on YouTube, but they did show it on Twitter. And they weren't talking about this, but if 6 white kids were to beat up a black kid, it would be all over the news.
But I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something though. This is why. This is probably the main reason why they don't want to show that. White kid getting beat up by black kids is common in America. In schools, like white kids getting beat up by black kids are common. Black kids beating up, white kids beating up black kids is not common. Black kids beating up whites is common. Whites beating up blacks is uncommon. That's the problem. So they like the whole thing is, white supremacy, orange man bad, all this, that, and the third. They want to push that narrative. But then when things like this happen, that goes against that narrative, just like the whole thing that happened in Jersey City where you had the shooting in the Jewish kosher deli where 6 people died, including the
two black Israelites.
Right.
They say.
When I first saw it, it was all over the place. It was trending. It was a big story, breaking news. As soon as they found out it was 2 black folks, it disappeared.
My God. Yeah, I know. 2 black Israelites. And a similar thing happened a couple months ago. So there's this crazy white kid. Yeah. No. Wait, what happened? Oh, what was that happened? I'm sorry, I cannot remember. My mind's a bit fogged up from. Oh yeah, there we go. Crazy white kid shot up a black guy, right? A black sheriff, and this was going all over the place. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And this was just trending. And then when something like this happens, when 6 kids beat the living daylights out of this white kid, what happened?
Nah, it's like it won't get reported if it goes against the narrative. You can't report the truth of what's happening because then you'd be considered racist or whatever. You want to push a certain narrative, and that is that black folks victims of white people. So when a white person does something to a black person, it's all over the place. But when it's the other way around, it's like the 6 black kids beating up the 1 white boy, then that's nowhere to be seen. Nobody cares about that. That's how these things work.
Right. Honestly, a sad thing. But I honestly think that people are starting to wake up and smell the coffee about what's going on, and not just about political correctness starting to be tossed out the window, you know what I mean? But also people starting to realize that socialism and the leftist way is not the way to go.
That's right.
It's just not a good way. Because here's the thing, if liberals get their hands on a lot of power, they can take over and they can just destroy America. Once America's gone, the whole world's gone.
That's right. That's how it works.
I don't understand how people can't notice the red flag when Barack Obama said he wants to fundamentally change America. Doesn't that raise some eyebrows? Doesn't that sound suspicious? You want to fundamentally change America? That doesn't sound right, does it?
It does not sound right, man. This has been a great call, but I got a few more on the line. I'm going to go ahead and get to those. So thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay. Have a good night and God bless.
God bless you. All right, Victor, what's happening?
My call.
Ain't no problem.
Yeah. So, about this Virginia gun law thing, I don't know too much about it, but I can say this, is that have they been to the western part of Virginia? No, forget about the southern part, but the western part of Virginia. It is, you talk about West Virginia, the western part of Virginia is nowhere close.
Oh, you froze up there, Victor. Okay, I think you got a bad connection here. All right, wait a little bit for him. I'm going to just go ahead and cut him off right there. If you can hear me, Victor, try to call back because your connection is totally stopped. But I knew where you were going with that. If you can get back on the line, I'll try to get you back on the line. All righty. But now I knew we was going that because I've been in the western part of Virginia, Big Stone, Big Stone Gap, all that over there, Kingsport. I've been way over there, so I understand what it's about. All right, Victor, can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can hear you now.
All right.
So I don't know where I left off.
We were talking about how they've not been to the western part of Virginia. Oh, I don't know what happened. I think it's call is. I think it's just messed up. Yeah, it might just be a bad connection. You might want to just try to call in a different way. So shout out to my man Victor. I'm not really sure what happened, but let me get to the next call here. 808 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL.
Hello. How's everything? I got some background noise here, boss.
Okay, yeah. I just got rid of it.
Alrighty.
All right, ABL. I'm calling from Hawaii.
All right. Well, welcome to the show. What's going on?
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to just thank you for all you do.
Hey, it's no problem.
I think I think it's really good. And like I said, Bella Kelly Kimaka, to you. And yeah, I just we're talking about the Virginia thing, and if you take people's guns away, well, that's what happened in Venezuela. There's nobody. There's nobody to fight back, and then you just you have the government come in and take over, and that's probably why Virginia isn't. That's not going to happen in Virginia, because you do have people that can actually defend themselves, and I feel that unless the politicians really get their little hands into it, but I don't think the people are really it ain't going to happen.
Yeah, it's not. It's really not going to happen. And if they try to do something like that, they'll realize very quickly that it was a bad decision. Yeah.
Well, totally. I agree. And so we pray for you guys over there in Virginia that all goes well, and they don't try to infringe on your American rights and stuff like that. The rights to bear arms and stuff like that. I guess.
That's right.
Yeah. And then now we got the Brexit thing going on, and all the with the UK leaving the EU, and I was actually when they all did that, I was in Europe at the time. I was ski racing in Switzerland, and I was like in Germany at the time and in France when they started forming it and all that. And it was kind of it was almost comical that the Swiss saw right through it, and they just said no. They said no way, we're not doing that, and they stuck to their guns. And in fact, some of those smaller mountain villages in Switzerland, they wouldn't even take the euro. You'd have to go get the Swiss franc, like that. So
right.
So hopefully other countries will kind of come around to that that whole thing. And the open border thing isn't good. We're used to have to, like, if you went to like Austria and then you went to Germany, well, you'd have to go through the border, and they basically check you out and and stuff like that. And now there's open borders. It's I've been there also, where you just fly through the borders and stuff like that. And it just creates problems. Even simple problems, other than immigration. Those are, we have those also, but problems like smuggling.
Yes, big problem with that.
Yeah. No, yeah, big smuggling. Let's say Amsterdam, right? You can go sit there and just stock up on a bunch of weed, just run on down, to other countries, and start, have at it. It's like there ain't nobody to, to block, actually kind of what do you got, stuff like that. Yeah, it's kind of that open thing is no good. Yeah. In fact, the only thing I did see with the kind of a border concern was when I was in Andorra, and when you went into Spain, because Andorra is tax-free, you would have people like buying stuff out of Andorra and like that, and especially like bicycles, because bicycles, I guess you save like hundreds of euros like that, buying a bicycle. And when I was riding bike, I I'd cross the border on my bike, we'd actually have to stop. We'd have to actually stop, and they'd like kind of check your bike out. And if it was a brand new bike, then you'd have, they'd be like, oh, okay, we need a receipt, where you bought that, like in Spain or whatever, And professional bike teams, riders, they were having problems because they were like, if they lived in Andorra and they're riding in Spain and stuff like that, when they'd go across the border, they'd see these brand new, team bikes and stuff like that, and they'd be like, "Where's your receipt?" And they'd be like, "Oh, wait, no receipt. This team bike." And a problem. So that open border thing, yeah, you need to tighten that up a bit, because it just ain't good. But but I want to thank you. I want to get off. I know you got plenty of callers, and I really appreciate what you do for us as Americans. And God bless you. And Merry Christmas, bro.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. And Merry Christmas to you.
Okay, aloha.
All right, shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. Victor, can you hear me?
Oh, hey. Yes, I can hear you now.
All righty.
Yeah, I have to basically use my data plan because I don't know what's wrong with my internet.
Yeah, it wasn't working out for you.
Yeah. So, anyways, what I'm trying to get at is that the western part of Virginia is all backwoods. If people haven't been into the state of Virginia, like once you pass Richmond, Virginia, going west, it is nothing there. And that means that there's a lot of wild animals there. People need their guns to protect their homes from something like that. And on top of that, I really don't understand why Virginia is passing this gun restriction laws when they really don't have a gun problem here. I mean, gun violence, it's not that much in Virginia. Even in Arlington, you hear a lot more that's happening in Maryland and in D.C. than in Virginia. In fact, the northern part of Virginia been so gentrified, they basically kicked out the black people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, look at Old Town Alexandria. It's really no black people. And in Arlington, for sure, they replaced the black people with Mexicans.
Yeah, the blacks going way out to Maryland, way past PG. They're going way, way far, like almost Baltimore.
Yeah, so it's pointless of passing this gun restriction law when they don't even have a gun problem in Virginia.
Right.
So anyway, I recently saw 3 movies that I didn't get any spoilers. And it shows how patience is a virtue. One of those movies is Endgame.
Okay, what's that? The Infinity War?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the only thing I could say about that is that Captain Marvel movie was just a waste of a movie because she didn't do anything. Might as well put that movie in the phase 4 of Marvel.
Yeah, that wasn't good at all. I saw that. I was like, nah.
Yeah.
Girl power.
Yeah, exactly. You put her in there, and then once you have this Infinity Wars Endgame, you barely even seen her.
Right.
She just came at the end. Yeah. So, anyways, have you heard about what Oregon passed recently?
What Oregon passed?
Yeah. So they passed a law that where cops cannot have random conversations during a traffic stop.
Oh wow! I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah, it just came out. It just came out today. So basically, you know how it's a routine traffic stop, and cops they ask random questions just to get to try to know who they're dealing with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, they said that they're no longer they can no longer do that because their most recent traffic stop, they stopped an illegal alien, and because of those random questioning, illegal alien is being deported. And therefore, they said that because these traffic stops are disproportional targeting minorities, they want to stop that. My question is that why is it mostly minorities being stopped? Are they just randomly picking out a minority to stop them? Or are they actually breaking up a particular law? And then on top of that, if you're not going to do it, if you're innocent, then that these random conversations shouldn't be an issue, because really these random conversations are there to protect the cops, to make sure they're not dealing with somebody else, because dealing with something where it could go a complete 180, because we have seen many traffic stops where it's just a routine traffic stop and a cop either gets shot at or it turns into a highway speed chase.
Right.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to talk about is the Lamar Jackson one, about his black skin, from the sports reporter.
Mm-hmm.
Being a black guy, we talk a lot about skin color. Like when I see something that a light-skinned person do, I say that's a light-skinned problem. And you know how in the black community, how we talk about how light-skinned blacks are soft.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I don't know why people are making a big deal about it. Me personally, I thought it was funny what he said. Yeah. But anyway, that's all I got to say. And thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, then. Bye.
That's a good point he made about the light skin, dark skin stuff. We talk about that all day long in the black community. Light skin people do this. Dark skin people do this. But then when this guy talks about Lamar Jackson, he's dark skinned, and the football can blend in with a dark uniform, dark skin. It's the football is dark, he's dark, the uniform is dark. It's like camouflage. It kind of makes sense. People getting upset, people getting triggered. It's dumb. But let me get to the next call. 910, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Let me mute it. Whoa. Okay. Sorry about that. Hey, next on the agenda is probably going to be Turkey. Remember that. It's, with him and Turkey and how they deal with Syria and stuff like that and taking the oil. That'll probably be their next thing. But the other thing I was going to call about the Brexit, Bruce Orr and someone he wrote a book with, remember, he's married to the lady from Fusion GPS, that they're the ones who's starting the Russian thing in the UK.
Right. Okay.
You following?
Yeah.
Okay. So, see, they were going to use, this thing is old. They were going to use the same thing against John McCain if he won in 2008. This thing's been around for that long. But see, since John McCain wasn't a bulldog and he wouldn't say bad things about Obama or anybody else. But anyway, they got the White House for 8 years. So as soon as Trump got into the White House, they like I said, what was it, 19 minutes after he was sworn in, Washington Post already about impeaching him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then Bruce Orr, they started the Russian deal. They got, for John Brennan and however they said with Christopher Steele. Well, now they're the ones who's pushing the Boris Johnson thing about Russia. The other thing, too, is their conservative party is more like they're kind of liberal, too. They're, because of socialized medicine in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Britain has socialized medicine. and also their deal with what was it? Something else the Britons do that are favorable to Democrats. You know, that's the other thing that but that is good for the Conservative Party, especially with the northern counties or northern part of England siding with them. But I just wanted to call you and say Merry Christmas, brother. Peace. And goodwill.
Thank you for the phone call, man. And Merry Christmas to you.
And I know you got other calls, so hey, like I said, see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
All right, now take care. All right, shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. And thank you all for being here. Definitely appreciate you. If you like what you heard so far in the show, I'm about to wrap it up right here, actually. But just get a video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all the good stuff. And if you're not subscribed already, go ahead and do that for me as well. I greatly appreciate you for that. Let's take one last phone call, and then I'll wrap it on up, put a bow on the top. All right, caller, you on the line, 317, who am I speaking to?
It's Tom, second time caller. I just wanted to go over a couple of things. There was a guy that got on there and said something like, if they try and take away the guns, there'll be a constitutional crisis. We're already in a constitutional crisis. It might spark a civil war, and we all hope that that doesn't happen. Things are a bit crazy right now, and you notice like a timeline that ever since he announced he was running, they've been just going after him. First it was when he played that Mexican, the clip about the Southern Wall. They started saying that he hates all Mexicans and saying everything that he says every day was racist. And then they played that clip of him on the bus saying grab him and stuff, and then tried to make him sexist. Then that didn't work, so right when he was being like on the inaugural march, they were marching with a sign that said to impeach him before he was even sworn in. Didn't happen. Then they had Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen and Roger Stone. They tried to frame Brett Kavanaugh. They just keep going after him, one thing to the next and the next. And then, you know, they said that he had Jared Kushner married one of his daughters, and they called him an anti-Semite for it. Ridiculous, right?
Right.
And they're pretty much just saying the exact opposite of what really happens. And if they can't get him on one thing, they just go to the next and the next. Then they said the Russia collusion, and then Robert Mueller, the FBI, said, no, there is no evidence to say that he had any part in this. And then they got the CNN, the CEO of it, saying, we just want to move toward impeachment. That's the goal. And then AOC admits that that's the reason why they were doing that, because they didn't want him to win 2020. And then now I think Pelosi admitted something similar. Basically, they're trying to just go after him on any excuse. And if it's not one thing, they're just going to make up something else. Do you think that there might be a civil war coming?
I seriously doubt that it would get that far. I feel like there could be like a brush up against it, but I doubt that it would go that far into it, you know, because you're going to have like two sides fighting. And if it's only one side that support, like, okay, you got people like McEachin talking about he's going to send a National Guard out there to confiscate weapons if people in Virginia don't want to give up their guns if there were to be a law passed saying that you got to give up your guns. But who's to say that the National Guard is going to really comply with that? So who would the actual war be with? So I don't know if there will be an actual civil war because it may not get to that point. So it could happen, but I doubt it.
Well, that's assuming that the National Guard doesn't comply with that. I mean, they did in Hurricane Katrina. They were taking away everyone's guns and smashing guns on the floor. They were raiding houses and stuff. And I've heard that was just like a testing thing to see how much resistance there was. And then they had this other one where they did it in Boston after that terrorist bombing with the pressure cooker, just going into houses without consent. And then there was another one more recently. I forget which one off the top of my head. But, you know, it's just... And the other dude said something like, do they have a guilty by association thing with the red flag? They already have that with when you buy a gun. If you live in a house where, like, let's just say if the wife is fine, but the husband has a felony on his record, she can't buy a gun unless she's registered to a different address.
Mm-hmm.
They already have that. And I don't know if it extends to red flag laws, but that's the thing. It's just 1 inch at a time, and it's like death by 1,000 cuts. And we can't let our Constitution die. And I think that if they do actually do this stuff, it'll probably cause at least an uprising. You know, we don't want this to happen. But during the 2016 election, when he was on the whole inaugural day, they were torching limousines, taking wheels off of cars, looting stores. And Patriot Nurse on YouTube, she had a video about this saying, do you think there's going to be a coming civil war? And said there's a poll taken that 70% of people think that it's coming. And I don't want that because, you know, like everyone, I like peace, you know. But at the same time, I mean, these liberals, they're so violent. If you even think something that they don't grant you approval to have the opinion of, they attack you. What you said before about that guy being beaten up by all those people just for wearing a MAGA hat.
Yeah.
They're really violent. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's scary, you know.
Well, I think everything will work out for the best. That's my prediction. We talking about wide sweeping things like this, and a lot of people are really against it, and we understand what's going on beforehand. It's not like a surprise attack. Like with the Hurricane Katrina situation, it was an emergency, came out of nowhere. Nobody was really ready for it. Same thing with Boston bombing. But this over here with laws that are coming down the pike, and we know about it, and we're able to prepare and fight against it, I think it'll be a little bit different. But I thank you for the call, man. I definitely appreciate you.
I hope you're right. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Sam. All right, man. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. But that will be a wrap for me. Excuse me. I got to go ahead and wrap it on up. Put a bow on the top. Thank y'all for being here. I definitely appreciate you. Like I said, if you like what you've heard so far during the show, please give the video a thumbs up. Share the video as well. And if you're not subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go ahead and subscribe right now and click that bell too. If you click that bell, you get a notification when I go live and or post a new pre-recorded video. So that'll pretty much be it for me. I will see y'all again live on, Wednesday of next week. That's the 18th. And then also Saturday live. And then, of course, I do my pre-recorded videos all throughout the week. I try to do it Monday through Saturday, 2 videos a day. That's my goal. 12:30 p.m. Eastern to 4:30 p.m. Eastern, both of those times, 12:30 and 4:30. I try to post pre-recorded videos. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. If it's enough content, I'll be able to do it. If it's not, then I'm not. But that'll pretty much be it. Thank y'all for being here. Shout out to the super chatters. I got a few more to read before we go on out. Thank you to my man Nippin for the super chat, who says Brexit is inevitable and Trump will get reelected. Keep America great 2020, and see you Wednesday, Thursday, his time. Thank you for the super chat, Nippin. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Haley Cantor, who says, hi, ABL. Here's something to enjoy the holidays. Well, I thank you for that. I definitely appreciate you for your donation. Shout out to Daniel Nordine, who says, make Virginia great again, MVGA. I might need to come up with some hats and put that on there. I thank you for that. I definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Beth Marie Evans, who says, our Second Amendment is an inalienable right given by God and cannot to be taken by the government. There you go. All right, Rich, thank you for the donation. I definitely appreciate you. And that is all the super chats I got. Thank you to all the super chatters, all the PayPal donators, all the Patreons, and all the site members. I appreciate you. And shout out to the moderators keeping the clean chat. We got Michelle A. I see you in the chat. True Helper. We got Ansel, Bill from the Hills. We got Elijah Jean. We got everybody in here. Thank y'all for what you do at the time. Definitely appreciate you. And shout out to everybody that's watching, everybody that shared, everybody that's commented, everybody. And that will be a wrap for me. So Merry Christmas. And until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.